Thank you for joining us for session number 6
Six.
of the Unsung Tales, a one-ring adventure on the happyjacksrpg network. To find all the sessions of this game, visit happyjacks.org/unsungtales. And to find all of the shows on the Happy Jacks network, visit happyjacks.org. My name is Kimi. I am your Loremaster for this amazing game. Please know that we are using safety tools. We have X cards. We've also done lines and veils, which we talked about in one of our earlier sessions. So everyone's safe at our table. And so let's go around and introduce our players for tonight. Let's start on this end since I started there last week.
Hello, I'm Sam, she, her pronouns, and my character is Runa. She is a treasure hunter from Bree.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am playing Aerlind of Mithlond, a Lindon elf who is who uses he and they pronouns. And yeah, we're doing great. Everything's great.
Everything's great.
Hi, folks. I'm Jay. Excuse me, and I'm playing Burl, sausage Brandy-bottom. Both he, him, and Burl is a Hobbit of the Shire and a messenger at that.
And I'm Kadave, and I'm playing Hannar, the Dwarf of Durin's folk, and super excited to be exploring things that aren't Dwarven. Like, there's a whole bunch of lore and stuff out there that he doesn't know anything about, and it's super exciting.
Excellent. And we had a very fun session last time. One of the things was that you arrived after a very rocky voyage across across a very large lake, like we're talking like Great Lakes large. You arrived in Nenuial, which is the ruins of the old capital of this land, back many, many ages past. So you got to the ruins. You'd lost some important items to your, you were pretty low on morale, and then you found a place to spend the night. You also discovered that the ruins were haunted. But it was kind of an interesting kind of transformation of your feelings about the place from being there, seeing it kind of as a place of danger and unknown, like frightening things, to slowly learning to, some of you already respected the ruins, but learning the history of them and to kind of respect those who remained there waiting for their hopefully future king. The once and future king, if it were. Sorry. I had to do that. And you had some incredible interactions with some of the spirits. You explored the cities, saw some of the glories of the past, came upon the old castle, the tower that the king used to reside in. Got your hands kind of caught in the cookie jar, as it were, by some Dunedain rangers who had been watching you and at first assumed, like many others, you were here just to ransack and take what you wanted. They were very impressed that you were given a song by the ghosts that was sung in ages past, and the fact that the ghosts were appearing to you and speaking with you made them hang back to see what you were doing. They felt that maybe you were different than the others. They were a little disappointed when you decided to get into some chests that were in the castle, but you had a great discussion with them, talked with them about the rangers that had gone missing, which is the rumor that brought you to this place in the first place. And you had just been allowed, well, they went off to kind of discuss what they thought about what you told them, and you went up and you saw the top of this tower, which was carved with basically the history of their part at that time of Middle Earth. And basically it was, when you looked out, there were windows in all directions, and as you looked out the window, there were carvings all around each window of the things and the history that happened in that direction. And Palantiri used to be here, which is the Seeing Stones, though there's a kind of a pillar in the middle where that it used to sit on. It's long gone, but that's kind of the importance of this room. And you discovered, I think lots of different things. You saw like history in all different directions. One thing you did notice as you looked out the window that oversees the lake is it had these 5 small islands that were there that were carved. And one of them has a very tall tower with a little bit of like what looked like a gem carved with like little lines that like represent glowing in any kind of illustration. This is shining. That looks very similar to the one in your ruins that are part of the haven that you spend a lot of time at. And that's where we ended last time. We're going to pick up right at that same moment. So we're not going to pass any time. Couple things I wanted to correct. We are supposed to save the points that we earn as we play, and we're supposed to spend them on the fellowship phase. Oops. We haven't had a fellowship phase yet, so I read it I read the fellowship phase rules before we started, and then I was like, okay, I'll read it again before we do one of those. So then I hadn't really refreshed on them, but I feel like we're coming up on one. We probably should have done one before we started into this piece of the adventure. We probably should have done one like right after we had the whole incident with the nephew. Funny enough, reading through that rules, we kind of did naturally. Like in the fellowship phase, you're supposed to spend time together. You're supposed to talk with your patron. You're supposed to write songs and things, which is all things that you did. We just did it a little more organically than what you're supposed to do, which is great. I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
So I am cool counting like, okay, if you've already spent some of your points, great. We'll say you spent them during that little like, organic fellowship phase. And then when we do our next fellowship phase, you can spend points from this point on. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Totally.
Excellent. Okay. Anything I missed or any other important points?
Doing great.
Doing great. Doing great. Yeah, if you didn't listen to the last episode, please go do that. I am particularly proud of like how it turned out. So, all right. So you are standing on the top of this tower in Numinous. You've discovered all these things, and you've decided about you know that some Dunedain have gone out to these islands. You know that it's a tradition; they go out there every few years. They often don't return, or they return, very wounded. One of the ones recently that they described came back so devastated by what happened there that they were unable to really articulate about it. But they have been very cagey up to this point about what's like really happening out there. So I went back and listened. They don't know what's happened to the most recent group that's gone out there, but they've been pretty discreet. And one of the last things they said they're going to discuss, like how much they feel like they can trust you. Before they were like, "We trust you enough. The lady of the city trusts you, so you can go look at the city." But they haven't decided how much they trust you about their customs and their secrets and their kin. So. All right, you are up in the top of this tower.
So that island there is the one we're not supposed to go to.
Not the sharp-looking one.
Got it.
Pointy, very bad.
Hmm.
But any of the other ones seem good to land on. I'm very curious about this one with the gem on the top.
Yes.
Now, the one in the middle, the one with the gem, is very steep. Like it looks almost like a tower or
Spire.
yeah, like yeah.
Or to climb things.
Yeah. But it doesn't actually look much like there's not much island there.
Okay.
It's more and it doesn't seem it seems more like a landmark.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could probably climb it because you can climb anything. But looking at it, you're not like, oh, that's like an island with a lighthouse. You're like, oh no, that's just like it's like the Washington Monument or something, just kind of sticking out, like just super very vertical.
Obelisk in
Yeah.
the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean a little
Hold on
more,
tight to the sheer rock face. Hope we don't drift away while you climb.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a little more natural looking than that, but that's kind of what we're talking about at this point.
How close are the islands to each other?
It's hard to tell because of the it's a carving,
Yeah.
but they're pretty close.
Okay.
Like it's definitely like a small boat ride. You could probably, at least from the scale you're guessing, it's something you could probably easily swim.
Okay.
So it's easy to hop from island to island if we
Definitely
find our
good in
way
the
there.
water.
I mean, huh?
Oh, you know.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Maybe Runa could. No.
Oh, sure.
But yes, once you get there, they do not seem super far apart.
And if I remember correctly, there is one that has more buildings carved on it than the other ones.
Yes.
So assuming we're looking for people, I think
Mhm.
That's
that seems
probably
the
where
most
they would have gone. Yeah.
likely.
So we're
They
looking-
are also rangers.
Yeah.
So
True.
buildings are a map.
Yeah. There's a little map.
And we stay away from the X-shaped island. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've decided that that's a bad idea.
So
Um,
yeah, the 5 are kind of in the formation of a. If you were to look at a D6, the 5. So it's like there's one in the center that has kind of the tall. It's organic rock for the bottom, and then there's like the carving of the one at the top that has the crystal. But it's very sheer, and that's the one kind of in the center. The ones below it, kind of to the south, there's the one that looks kind of like an X. It's the death rocky one. It's all carved like it looks like sharp broken glass, almost the way it's carved. And then the other 3 are much more hospitable looking, and those are the ones that have some buildings on there that have like actual like kind of beach landing areas that you can see.
I look at that tower with the gem and I say,
That looks an awful lot like our place. What does that mean? I mean, looks like they were connected once.
Do I have a guess as to what that all means? Given that I have some idea of what this place was.
As far back as anyone knows, these have been islands.
Yeah.
You would know that some like very well-known elves came through this at some point.
Yes.
Galadriel, Celeborn,
Yeah.
came through. They were islands at that point.
Mhm.
Whether they, in long ages past, used to be, one island.
I don't know what the Noldor did up here.
No, you.
Not my scene.
Okay, all right. Well, info drop, but yeah.
Okay.
So, as far as anyone knows, I mean, the fact that this ancient building has it carved on there that there are 5 islands. Yeah,
They
that's-
clearly know more about this than I do,
Yes.
but it's just like I have no idea. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. There's a lot of things in this world he doesn't actually know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we have to go there because we're looking for people and they're not going to be carved on the wall.
Well, actually, I mean, we did find out that they went there of their own accord. If this is a tradition, is it something we should be intruding on?
Perhaps when we go down, they'll deign to speak further.
Hopefully.
It seems as if they might, well, don't tell them I said this, but need our help, or someone's help. They've been trying to repopulate these islands for how many generations? And so many of them have not returned. Their numbers are dwindling. Something has to change for them to succeed.
Yeah.
It's like the Numenorians walk into doom. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, repopulation's usually the easiest thing.
The truth of that statement. Wow. Okay.
Throwing some shade today.
Yeah.
Runa's like, those guys didn't seem real keen on repopulating.
sausage blushes at this point.
Yeah. I suppose it's like salmon swimming upriver. They gotta go someplace to repopulate. If they want us to find them, I will gladly help them out.
Well, I think my next question would be, how would we get there if they're letting us go?
Presumably they have some sort of craft if they go out
Or
there
a
periodically.
City this size might have something.
No offense to them, but they're not coming back. It's not a ringing endorsement of their boats.
One did. I mean, he was
One did.
traumatized, but he made it back, and I assume that means his boat made it back.
I guess we'll see.
But at the end of the day, I think it's really up to them.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go.
No,
I-
they.
I don't relish the idea of treading back on this lake at all. But if they need help, we're here. We can help them.
Yes.
If
Mhm.
they
Try.
outright refuse our help, of course, we're not gonna
Right. Yeah.
Then we'll just
break into their island.
go back to the ruins.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Maybe go
Yeah.
find another ghost.
Well,
The last ghost was pretty nice.
It's true.
if they don't want our help finding their kin, then maybe we are done here.
Yes.
Before we leave the top of the tower, can I spend like 5 minutes watching the lake itself?
Mhm.
Just is it doing anything weird? Like after I had my vision of the lake being bad, I don't trust it at all. So I'm like, is it encroaching places? Is it doing it? Like, I know this sounds silly, but
No,
I'm
no.
really not trying to be silly.
No, I understand.
Like, I'm just want to really observe the lake.
No, you had a literal vision of the lake being darkness and
Yeah.
evil. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It makes
Oh.
perfect sense that you would do this.
And Runa, I saw something during our journey that's
Yeah.
out there, so
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it wouldn't
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
to keep
Something
an eye on
touched
the
the
lake
boat.
for that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, the center of the lake is still covered in mist.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's about midday now. So the mists have kind of receded, but it still kind of covers the middle of the lake and where the islands would be. Why don't you roll scan for me?
The way I envision this is like a supersized version of Crater Lake. Have you ever
Oh,
been up there?
mhm.
Yeah.
Where like the water's just super deep blue.
Exactly. But
I
like
mean-
big, like if Crater Lake
Right, yeah,
was.
yeah. But I mean,
one of the
out in the
Great
middle of
Lakes.
Crater Lake is literally an island called Wizard Island.
Yeah.
While he's rolling, Aerlin's just going around and like taking notes and has books out and is
Yeah.
looking at all of the etchings and really like indulging for a
Yeah.
moment.
I'm going to turn to you and I'm going to say,
Could I get a piece of paper and something to write with?
Nope. Okay. Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
So like you keep having visions while you look out there. You keep having like it kind of your memory kind of takes over of like things you saw.
Sure, sure.
But you don't actually you're not actually seeing anything out there.
Yes. I'm happy to share.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to sketch out as best as I can the views that look out towards the Shire and that look out towards our tower.
Yeah.
Like the stuff on the wall,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
the details.
Well, let's do some things. I'm gonna have you roll craft.
Craft.
Can I help? Seeing Burl drawing is kind of nice. It's something that mostly Aerlind does, and he's like, "Oh, yes,
You're rubbing
absolutely."
off. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that makes it favored if you help, right?
Well, you spend a hope to help someone, and
Yes.
they get an extra dice.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I just want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Yeah, that's an I. So
Dun, dun, dun.
it's 11. I don't make it,
Oh,
Okay.
unfortunately. 11 out of 15.
Yeah, it's not great, Erland. He's trying so hard.
That's lovely.
Like, you get the main. You probably will look at it later, Sausage, and know exactly what you meant.
Right, right.
Hopefully, you don't have to hand this off to someone else to follow as any type of map.
Okay.
It's not one for the books.
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. But you'll be. It's really nice of you to try.
Genuinely though, Aerlind is overjoyed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Even if it's not the most like accurate depiction, it almost like you see him really like grinning. He was very dark and dour just a moment ago looking over this room, and to have you all talking about the islands and kind of bringing him back, and now this moment,
Mhm.
the hope that specifically that you bring and that your people always remind him of, he's like, oh, this is wonderful, and we're back to normal now.
Mhm.
Thank you for the hope point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Worth the try.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this the only room up here?
Yes. At the
Okay.
top, it takes up like the whole top of the tower.
Okay.
As you go down the stairs, you can see that there are some rooms under it.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly this tower was to celebrate the seeing stone and to like make it hard to get to except if you have permission and things like that.
Got it.
So most of the actual living quarters are like down below in the actual castle that are below the spire.
Okay. I do want to take a detour through there and just touch things.
As we're going down, first of all, Aerlind, the last thing that he sees, he looks out and sees the white tower of home. Again, that like longing to go home, but then he hears his friends going downstairs and immediately is like, Runa.
Yeah. That is the one direction that when you look out, it looks very similar to what the wall is carved like. The towers are still there. They look the same. You know, there's all that. There are some differences kind of in
The
that section.
shoreline is a little
Yeah,
different.
the shoreline's different. There's also like the Shire is there a little bit, which wasn't there before. That part was different, but the towers and all of that kind of look the same. So, all right. So you're going to go wandering through the castle. They've given you permission at this point.
They said we could.
Yeah, they
just not to
absolutely did.
take anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't say
Well,
not to touch
They
anything.
didn't say not to take it. They said that they trust
Ask
you
first.
to ask first.
Yes.
Because they do see this place as kind of like an heirloom of their people.
Yeah.
So
They didn't say they had to answer yes.
You can ask to empty air. No.
You sit there and go, anybody mind?
Aerlind is going to take up the rear as we descend, and all of their complaints can be filed later.
okay. So as you go down the stairs, there's a few rooms underneath. They tend to be filled with books. A lot of them are crumbling. Like you sorry, Aerlind, but they're so old. Like they're there. Like the minute you touch them, they kind of start to crumble. Some of them you can maybe like start to pull on, but yeah,
They're so decayed, I think, that he's too nervous to even really touch them.
yeah. So it might be possible for like if a bunch of elves came and like did like,
Yeah.
but at this point it's more of a like vault or just a place of memory. Like the fact that they are still here is simply to like remember the past. And honestly, some of the shelves, it's been so long, it's just like piles of like debris and dust in a lot of places. Only because these rooms don't have any windows and they're just completely closed. Are you able to, or have any of them lasted? And some of the shelves have lasted. So when you open the doors, because of the light from the rest of it, you can kind of see. And then, did you guys bring any torches? I feel like you did.
I have a resin torch. Like
Okay. I remember describing like
It was
lamps.
daylight.
That's
when we
right.
came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, so it's still daylight, so we'll just say that the light's coming in.
Are any of the spines legible?
A,
Are they
like
pretty
a
decayed
few
as
places
well?
a little bit. I mean, these were
Yeah.
fine. So there's a couple places that are kind of gilded that you could read individual letters. I don't know if you would actually be able to read
Yeah,
them.
no, not likely.
Aerlind, maybe some of them.
Yeah, I mean, he would look,
Yeah.
but with such hesitancy because this is so much history and
Yeah.
he knows it's not his to touch.
Yeah. So and then as you continue down in the living areas, there's more like what you would expect of a living space. There's like you go off in one direction and a little bit down a hallway, so it's like, oh, okay, not in the great hall. You don't leave the great hall into your bedchamber. Like you go down the hallways, and then there's like what are obviously living quarters and places. You can tell that they're down below. There was like a kitchen, things like that. Just a gorgeous but surprisingly normal layout for like what you'd expect from a castle.
Okay.
No, I mean, do we see any signs of the Dunedain?
No,
As we're walking down?
they went out to the front. So
Okay,
they're outside.
They're outside.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've kind of let you. The lady who really lived here trusts you, so they've kind of been like, all right, if she trusts them to give them the song, then we should trust them to explore.
Yeah, I think Runa is just looking for like anything like similar to kind of the stuff that she saw in her dream, like artifacts of historical significance
Mhm.
that like her grandmother would be interested in,
Mhm.
so she can sketch it and take the sketch because they already yelled at her.
Yeah. They'd yell at you. Let's see. The things here are so old. Anything that would still exist would have to be like very high quality leather, maybe that would be hard, but like metal things would have lasted this long.
Mm-hmm.
Bows would basically have crumbled to dust long ago. Like even like furniture at this point, most of it, if it's not in a completely closed sealed room, would probably have like long gone. But what you are going to find as you go through these rooms are that things have been carved also on the walls here. So this has
Oh.
been something that was kind of like the aesthetic of this place was they wanted on these very walls to capture the history so it wasn't lost. Because they, more than anyone, realized like even great civilizations can fall. So much knowledge can be lost. So they wanted to preserve as much of it as they could in different places here. So there are places where there's it's not full histories, but like poems on the wall that capture moments of history. Some of it you can read a little bit, Aerlind. Most of you probably can't really read it, but just from like the look of it, you can like if you see a short little snippet in another language, often
Mm-hmm.
you can be, oh that looks like a poem or a little caption or something like that. So you'll actually see like carvings on the wall of a couple figures that are doing something obviously very heroic, and then like some writing on the bottom, which is kind of like telling the story and things like that. So a lot of that is on the walls.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I do want to try and make a attempt at sketching some of that
Okay.
to take with me.
Okay, I will have you will need to make a crafting roll to draw it.
Okay.
To make rubbings, you do not have to make the.
Hey, let's do the second one.
Rubbings are great.
I'll say you did that. It's
Yeah.
okay. You tried to draw it, and then you're
Yeah.
like, because someone else brought that up last game, so I did that. That was your
Yeah.
idea that you all generated last game.
Yeah.
So
Just as we got to the living areas of the places we're looking around a little bit, does it seem like everybody left in an organized manner, or does it seem like the ruins at Chernobyl, for example, where like there's still just like somebody's breakfast on the table because they ran out?
this is so many thousands of years ago. Like
but
none
I
of
mean,
them.
like,
Yeah.
Does it seem like things were shuttered up and sort of on purpose left empty?
I don't think you'd get an idea. Like
Okay.
even like the furniture's crumbling. So even if they had put everything away nicely, it's been so many thousands of years. Like the shutters are gone. Like the windows
Gotcha.
are
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. I mean, Aerlind might know,
Well, I just out of curiosity.
right? But if
looking
you
around,
wanted to ask like about the history of it particularly,
Mhm.
or your
I think so.
okay.
I think, as we're kind of walking through these rooms and looking at all the carvings and stuff, I'd probably go, did the people that live here flee suddenly as a disaster? Or did it slowly, the population move on? Or did they know something was coming and closed up shop and left?
I mean,
Do we have any idea?
the kingdoms of men fell in war, in decay, corruption.
Hmm.
This place in particular, I can't say I know too well. Again, it was before my time. But the histories are set in stone that will outlast them maybe forever. It's beautiful.
Sorry, I'm a little cold.
Oh, good. Ah, yes.
The closest thing I had. So
Incredible.
I'm sorry. I caught Dave's question.
You're good.
What was it that you said?
Oh no, it's just that
Okay.
Aerlind doesn't know a lot about the history of specifically the line of Numenor in this area, because again, it's not really something he's paid that much attention to.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Your escorts might know.
Sure. None of the carvings, though, indicate like impending doom, or
No.
they didn't have somebody chiseling away while Pompeii was erupting in the background.
No.
No.
Kind of thing. Okay.
No. Everything here. There are some carvings of an island being basically swallowed by the sea.
Mm.
But it doesn't. It's not something in this lake. You can tell it's the ocean.
I will say I think at some point he would like stop and the king here did fall to well, the whole line is quite cursed.
Oh,
I think it's perhaps finally found its end.
they angered someone of great power? Or...
Well, there was a great darkness that I don't really feel saying aloud would be the wisest course of action in these halls. Words have power, especially in places like this.
I understand. And he, like, nervously looks over the windows towards the lake.
There is one carving of as you're going like in the Great Hall, there is a carving of someone who you can tell is probably the king when they built this.
My man.
Yeah. Like a great, like strong figure, like nothing like the men that you've seen or known, like just like the pinnacle in every way. This is basically what like man as humans started as, and then from there they've become less grand, less great,
Diminished.
There you go. That's exactly the word I was looking for. I couldn't think of. They have diminished since this time. All right. Good. All right.
We probably spent quite a while walking
Yeah,
around, though.
this is totally fine. At some point, you come down, maybe back into the main room, what was the throne room. The rangers stride back in, and for just a moment, Hannar sees these like brave warriors striding in, and for just a moment in the light, because it's starting to get like afternoon, the way the light's coming through the openings that used to be windows, it's like kind of a glimpse into the history. And for just a moment, they seem like really as grand as their ancestors who lived in this place. And then they kind of like catches them, and you see them more as they are now, which, as you said a moment ago, diminished from the greatness they were, and very aware of that fact. Diminished people trying to defend a long, as you said, like cursed almost history. And Celebrusk is the one that was spoken with you earlier. Have you decided on your course?
If you will have us, we would like to aid you.
He turns and looks at his companions, and they kind of nod. Very well. He kind of waves them off, and they go out. And you can see that they're continuing kind of their patrols. He stays with you. We've decided that we shall trust you if the city trusts you with the full story. If you are going to risk your lives for our kin, you should know the truth of it. There is a great evil in the lake. A hideous being of darkness. It was sent by the Dark One many ages past, before the great last alliance of men and elves. And it wreaked havoc. It generally sleeps. It seems about every 4 years it awakens. We prepare ourselves, we defend as we can against it, and do what we can. However, for unknown reasons, it has awoken early. It has only been 2 years since its last surfacing. So we sent 8 out this time to try and beat it back. We've never been able to fully defeat it. But if we cause it enough harm, it returns to the depths in which it comes. And we are able to once again resume protecting Illuminous. Sometimes the groups return, sometimes they do not. But that is the truth of what you will face if you go and aid our kin.
An ancient evil.
Yes.
I'll tap my spear to the ground, dink, and I'll say,
Well, that's the thing that I saw, that you and I saw out there in the water. I think we're going to be ready for it.
It is dubbed the Doom of Nenuial. Nenuial. Which is the other name for the lake here, so. I would not blame you. This is not your fight. If you wish to return to your homes, there's no shame in it.
I don't know, I'm kind of excited now about this.
This whole time, like, the color has left Aerlind. Literally having just spoken of the great darkness, and now it's all kind of sinking in, and they're a little bit like, oh no.
From what we've seen along our journeys, and now hearing this darkness has arisen early, it doesn't seem like anywhere we go we'll be able to escape darkness these days. We may as well fight it where we can.
Yeah, take it head on.
He kind of like smirks a little bit at that, like approvingly, not like
Mhm.
like amused, but also approving, like impressed.
Is there anything particularly that you found hurts it the most?
I have not seen it myself, but we do often try and attack it with fire. It seems to dislike that as any aquatic being would, it seems.
And things that fear light.
Indeed. As much of the beings of the darkness, it does not like light either. We try to avoid ever engaging with it during the evening hours or night. It is massive. Descriptions of it vary. Like a large, like fish-like creature. It can go on land, but it is greatly. It is at a great disadvantage when it goes as such. I would highly advise you avoid it in the water if you can.
Get
like
it
the
on
sound of
land,
that.
set it on fire.
Sounds like a plan.
However, you do have to sail to the islands.
Oh, about that. You wouldn't happen to have a boat we can use, would you?
We do. We have small crafts. Nothing like what you sailed in.
But they'll get us there.
Yes. You'd probably need to take 2 to fit all of you.
Oh.
You were talking like small.
Yeah, we're talking like
a
little
rowboat or
boats.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is not a
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like slightly larger than like regular like rowboats is kind of what they have.
Okay. All right.
I only see if something like this in a headwater like this isn't stopped, then there's nothing going to stop its darkness from running all the way down the rivers and affecting this whole region.
That is what we fear. Generally, it surfaces every 4 years to try and feed. We send it back.
What does it eat?
Well, so far it seems its favorite food is Dunedain. But it will eat anything that it can get on the lake. It likes large creatures. fish, I think, are much too small for it. It is very large.
An ancient evil.
Indeed. It seems... Yeah, perhaps I should not say. Previously, we have fought this creature for generations. And it always seemed like just a beast. Something left over from an age gone by that's like fighting a bear that has lost its wit or... But now it seems it has awoken with purpose. Like there is...
Like darkness has come to the land again.
It's as if someone's calling it.
But there's no one to call.
That is what we thought as well.
Oh,
But there's much we have found we do not understand.
and we are agreed then.
It has to be defeated,
Hopefully on land.
preferably on land.
Then may we make good on the alliances from days of old.
Indeed. I will accompany you. And so will Gastallion. And he kind of turns and almost as if by magic, like one of the archers walks in. Like they've been waiting outside. The rest must stay and protect the city. There are so few of us. And unfortunately, it is quite the prize for those who may not understand or care of its history. But the two of us may accompany you, and, light willing, there will be more waiting on the island to help defend against this creature. And even he seems a little scared. Like he's fighting through it, but there's a little bit of gonna do this. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we get boats, and do we want to tie the boats together,
I think
or just?
first, Runa's gonna suggest that we do some prep.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We're gonna need some flammable stuff.
Also, it's afternoon, and it's pretty far, right? Yeah.
So we want to wait until.
We should
leave in the morning.
We
Leave
should
in the
rest,
morning.
prepare, rest,
Mhm.
and leave in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps before first light. Pack the boats and
Right.
leave when the sun strikes the tower.
Give ourselves the most daylight on the water.
Yes.
I think it's wise.
I agree with you.
We should get ready.
Calibrusk, is there any game on the islands?
There are on a few of the islands. They do have small wildlife, hares, things of that nature. They're a bit small for anything like much larger.
Nothing large enough to pique the lake monster's interest.
No,
It has more of a taste for venison.
Would you say you have an extra boat we could carry some supplies with us?
and yes, we can. Yes, we can provide that as
Hmm.
well.
We gather up some wood to go with us, and perhaps some. I don't know if they have some fabric or some leather we can find. We can take that and
Some sort of
See what the trees might give us.
make a for lack of a better term, a Trojan
Hmm.
deer on the on the shore.
A lure of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
A giant beast on the
Mhm.
shore that we could lure it up, and then perhaps dig some burn pits so that it couldn't escape back to the water.
Yeah, I was
Clever.
thinking we might scour the city for any sort of oil or accelerant, something
Yeah.
flammable.
Fear the
Yeah.
oil would mostly be gone,
It might be, but
Well, we probably have some oil for like lanterns and stuff like that, don't we?
but not a
a
lot.
bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Our camp is on the edge of the city. We, out of respect, we do not camp in the city ourselves. Obviously, you've been made welcome, and we wait for the king to return before we return. But those rules do not apply to you. But anything you need, lamp oil, leather, blankets, all those things we have and can provide.
Okay.
There's also deer. We can
Yes,
hunt.
we can
yes.
hunt deer.
Mhm.
They do not live on the islands, but if you were
could
taking
take
an
them with
extra
us.
boat,
Yeah,
you may take a large portion of venison if you wish.
Mm.
And as much oil as you could spare.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. You may want to
Mm.
be careful taking a large deer on a boat across the water, though.
Well, it doesn't have to be continuing to live by the time we
That
take
would-
it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Still a large amount of meat.
Well, I mean, they don't. How else will we get it there?
It is a fine plan. But as I said, you are quite brave. In the middle of the day, it may well work. I have not heard of it attacking in the middle of the day. But
Well, then I say it's a gamble worth making.
Mm-hmm.
That's bait for a trap. The ability to craft the trap before it gets to the point where it comes ashore, and then we see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Big fishing.
Big fishing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't even know where to start asking this question, actually, because I've already gone over the fact that I don't know much about the Numenorians.
Mhm.
But ancient monsters, I'm sure because of the source of the ancient monsters, does he know of anything that even fits this description?
There were Sauron sent many creatures of darkness.
Yeah.
There were some that were water beings.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't know. You might have heard of this one. It probably was in some sort of history. Although if you hadn't, I don't know. I'm trying to
I know.
balance between what you've said you didn't know already and what you did. So have you done a lot of specific reading on the creatures of darkness that he sent out?
Probably not. Again, because he's kind of that I'm still very young. I don't need to know about the last war. It's over and the darkness is never coming back.
So probably not.
Okay, that
You
makes
might have
sense.
heard some songs.
Sure, and
maybe?
it's so obtuse though that it's like
Yeah.
a creature of shadow.
Yeah, like under the water deep, like
I have some idea of Morgoth and Ungoliant, and that's kind of like the end of the understanding there.
Oh, yeah.
Sauron, the big names.
yeah, that there were creatures of darkness scattered about, and they were defeated.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
And they're gone forever.
Yeah, nothing bad will ever happen
Elves
again.
are real good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as we get ready, I'm gonna wrap up some of my arrows with fabric and douse that fabric in oil,
Nice.
and then I'm gonna prepare a little if I can find a bowl or an urn or something that I can keep in the boat and quickly set on fire, so I can just dip my arrows in that and shoot.
Yeah.
If we have to defend ourselves from the boats.
I think I'll follow suit seeing you do that.
Yeah.
Might be misremembering, but I feel like I described in the throne room as there being oil lamps.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Fancy lamp.
they're the fancy lamps. Like the oil's obviously long gone.
yeah.
But those are available to you as well if you wanted to take some of those. There's probably some others throughout the city if you don't want to take the throne room.
I'd
ones.
probably find a random basin that wasn't in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
throne room.
Yeah, exactly.
There
yeah.
are some metal things still about the city
Yeah.
that you can find. There's probably other lamps and things like that around.
An old dwarven helmet. In the
Oh,
back.
look at this thing. It's no more of an helmet.
No.
There must have been another one in the past.
Yeah.
No. Okay, back
It's
to
a
Well-
family name.
It's a brand.
That's a very dwarven.
That's a very dwarven
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a
Dwarven
family name.
helmets, yeah.
Durin,
Yeah,
son of
we,
Durin, son of Durin, son of Durin.
we definitely do that.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. We'll say you have whatever you want. So if you want to write down specifically what you have, and so we can kind of keep track of it a bit, or what you're looking for and what you're preparing, and we'll go around in just a second. At dawn, we'll say that you guys we'll go through and have you just list out the things that you've prepared and have.
And then the rangers were getting the deer, or were we getting the deer?
They can do it, or if you'd like to roll hunting. No.
I can.
Okay. If you'd like to. But they also, like, they go hunting regularly.
Yeah.
They know this
They know
land.
these forests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are able to provide you with a fresh deer carcass if that is what you want.
Then I think that the last thing, as we're kind of like gathering everything, is Aerlind does begin to sing songs of the lineage of kings and the songs that he knows of the alliance that fell the great darkness, and all these songs that he grew up knowing
Mm-hmm.
that are probably the closest he does have to knowing what's going on here,
Mhm.
but also just like it's their shared history. It's actually all of our shared history, and it's, it's just what comes to mind, and he just begins to sing it and carry us through the prepping.
Later that evening, after the prep part,
Mm-hmm.
are you staying at your campsite in the city? Are you staying with the rangers?
It's a good question. I think we should stay with the Rangers
Yeah, I
since
think I'd
they
probably
will
go stay
have
with them,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, if
Yeah.
we need stuff, at least we don't have to trek
As
all
long
the
as
way
they're
through
not
the-
like, you can't sit with us. I think
Yeah,
we're-
yeah.
I think actually at the invitation, Aerlin's like, I would like to go to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, they welcome you, and they actually recount a lot of the history of the city over the campfire that evening, and they're telling like how Elendil, the first king, after Numenor was destroyed, came, created the Great Kingdom. This was the capital of the kingdom. However, he fell, destroying Sauron in the last alliance of men and elves. If you watch the movie, this is the part that like has Galadriel talking over it. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
so that's him. And his son cut the ring from Sauron's hand, but unfortunately, his son was also killed, as many of the line were, not long after, and the kingdom eventually fractured as the line became weak. And eventually they simply abandoned this city in the capital here and moved it and declared another city the capital. And by that time, the kingdom had been split into 3 separate kingdoms by feuding sons who disagreed with one another, who were the heirs to the line. And from there, it continued to decline. We believe that the heir is still out there somewhere. But no longer do we call do our leaders call themselves kings. They are chieftains. And someday we will reclaim what is ours as a people, and one will once again claim the throne of this kingdom. But it has been long since we've held much hope that it would happen in our lifetimes. He seems kind of sad about that.
You shouldn't give up hope.
Thank you, Master Dwarf.
Many of my people did, but hope has returned to us. Unexpectedly.
I've heard it. The great achievement under the mountain. A dragon. Who would have thought? And it can't be true that there was it. Forgive me. A hobbit that helped?
Oh, indeed. They're very helpful.
Yes. Against a dragon, I would be afeared. Having.
You would find that the hobbits are quite filled with hope and vigor.
It seems as such.
That was a very peculiar one, him. Now, from what I've heard, I never really met the fellow or anything like that. But yeah. I mean, certainly makes a good story to tell around a fire.
Indeed. Well, is anything like you, I'm sure he's excellent at singing it. Master Hobbits.
I can't resist that. So I pull the lute out, and I'll share a few Hobbit songs.
Okay.
You know, I'll sing about the constellations, you know, and the feasts that they splay out into the sky.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll song for me.
Sure. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Where is that?
That's straight.
I'm favored, and I've got 2 pips on that. Oh, still not great though. That is 13 out of 15.
Oh.
Okay.
Ah.
Well, you still do a great job singing.
You know what? I've had a little much to drink at this point.
Well, you do a great job singing them. I just was gonna see if you succeeded. I was gonna give everyone like a little extra boost of rest.
Oh, okay.
So,
sure.
but you still you don't do a bad job performing these songs.
Okay, all right.
They're still very comforting and enjoyable. And the Rangers like join in. They sing some of their songs for you and share them with you. One of the things that they sing about is a green stone. So they actually have a song where they sing about this great green gem, and it's kind of intertwined with their history. Just Dave, just if you
Does it in the song? Does it give any idea what it did or what the importance of the greenstone?
Yeah,
is?
it was a stone that was brought, and it's sort of a little bit nebulous, but it's basically an incredibly old, perfect gem. They call it Elisar. And it's green. It has the light of the sun. It was forged by great masters long ago. And kind
Dwarves,
of
no doubt.
passed through. Huh?
Dwarves, no doubt.
There's doubt.
Not to Hannar.
Yep.
Not until somebody walks up and goes, "No, I made this," which I guess is possible. I don't know.
So basically, it's sort of it's less about like the specific gem, although it does describe it, and it kind of becomes almost like a symbol, like a metaphor or a replacement for like this line of kings. So they sing about it, and it goes back and forth between the Elisar being an actual stone and it being kind of the symbol of the line of kings as you go back and forth. And it was forged by the elves, sorry.
So they get into that in the song, though.
It says it was made in Gondolin.
Okay.
Which is you may not know, it's from the first age. Like it is an incredibly old stone.
Sure.
So probably the first age in Great Gondolin. If you don't know what Gondolin is, you can assume it's a dwarven place. That's cool.
I will say if you bring it up, Aerlind will pipe in on this one.
Yeah.
He's got opinions with a capital O about those elves.
I don't think so. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm absorbing it. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, all right. There were obviously some great dwarven stone masters.
Yes, Gondolin.
Totally.
I mean, who knows who was visiting whatever town it was?
Yeah, totally fine. Celebrimbor is totally a dwarf. Like, great. Absolutely.
You know.
They might have found the stone somewhere,
That's
and
true.
then they were like, "Oh, we better trust this to a master dwarf to fix it up real nice."
Ugh.
Yeah. So, and it's basically, that's basically what it's about. Is this
Yeah.
the stone being lost, the line of kings, being lost, refinding it, things like that. And you just have a very pleasant evening with your friends, the Rangers. Let's make sure everyone we refreshed our fellowship points. We're supposed to do that at the top of the thing.
Yep.
I'm also going to, if you're not at full hope, you can add 1 hope
Yay.
based on this wonderful evening, learning this history, etc., etc. All right. And while you sleep, you're each going to have a dream again. This one's simpler, and it has the lady, the lady that you met, the ghost, Athura. Wait, here's my list of all the rangers.
So many names.
Yeah, so many names. And she says one thing to you in your dream. So I'm going to go around and have you say what she said to you that gives you hope for the next day. So knowing what you're facing. She knows you know what you're facing. Whether this is her actually appearing in your dream or whether this is your mind telling you what you need to hear the night before you face a great evil is up to you to decide. But I want you to kind of think about that for just a moment. And if you're ready, you can tell me.
In my dream, I'm in the middle of the water, and I'm not on any kind of vessel, but I'm also not on land, and I'm kind of just sitting there. And from the shore behind me, I'm surprised when I find myself in this situation in my dream. From the shore behind me, Athura tells me to breathe with the water.
Okay. So, you're floating or are you?
I don't know.
You're not
I mean,
sure,
it's a
okay.
dream, so
Yeah.
I'm there,
Okay.
and the water's around me. I can feel it kind of like lapping against my legs as I sit.
Okay. And tweak it just a little bit. When you look down, you realize that you aren't actually you. You have become the air and the water. So what you feel as the water lapping at your feet is actually like where the air is meeting the water and kind of coming together. And this is also kind of like what makes the fog. So the fog isn't necessarily like how you were feeling, oh, it's going to eat my bones, but you see that these things like naturally work together, and you've almost become kind of like an element yourself in your dream. So that's kind of what's happening for your dream.
Great.
All right. Other ideas? No, this is a big one. So surprise improv.
I think Aerlind is sitting. There's like a dock where when they actually finish building a ship, in the Grey Havens, and it's sunset in the dream, sitting there, and it could be like part of a memory, part of just kind of a piece together of things that he's done in his very long life. But she's sitting there with him, and they're looking at the sunset. No ships, just seabirds crying quietly. The waves rolling in and out, very peaceful. And she looks around. He's looking at the sunset, and she looks around. And she turns and she says to him, "Nothing is so far that it cannot be reached."
Nice. I think as you're sitting there, you're watching, and there's the seabirds flying, and just for a few like moments, and it must be a trick of the eye, they take the shape of the birds that you saw in your last dream, the ones that the ships had turned into. So the birds, like, they just seem, they're a little far off, but they're the great birds that are carved into the ships from the Numenoreans when they first came. So it's kind of like a symbol, and you can see her kind of longingly look in the distance. And you're kind of struck with the thought that you know where you're going. She's kind of stuck in between. And so she is staying, or maybe she has no choice, but her spirit has stayed in Numinous. But humans don't know where they go after this.
Yeah.
So it's like a great mystery of, it might be great, it might be terrible, maybe she's better off where she is now. Like, there is no knowing for her. And there's kind of that on her face, this wanting to go, but also afraid and wanting to stay. All right.
I got one.
Okay.
I think in Runa's dream, she is kind of sitting where they first came ashore, looking out over the lake towards where the islands are, and she's sharpening one of her swords. Um,
Comprehend.
of
Okay.
course. And Athora comes and sits next to her and just like sits with her for a moment. And then when she's done sharpening her sword, Athora passes her hand along the blade and illuminates it. And she tells her that dark places will always be illuminated again. You just have to bring the light.
Love it. Did she steal your thing?
Excellent.
Like, no, literally almost word for word.
Maybe you share a dream.
Treasure hunters think alike.
True.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we can do that if you'd like. You can have it.
No, I can
Okay.
I can tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
I got an idea.
All right. So, as you're doing that, for just a moment, as she's running her hand and she says that, for a moment you look down at her hand as she's running, and for a moment it looks like your grandmother's hand. And for just a moment, the voice changes just slightly, and you almost hear like an echo of her voice that is your grandmother's voice saying the same things. Like they're saying it together to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I think Hannar's dream is actually a little scary.
Okay.
So I think he's a child again, and he's running through a dark cavern,
Mhm.
right? Like just getting away from something. Like the dreams where you don't even know what's chasing you, but you just know you gotta go.
Mhm.
So he's just sprinting through this darkness. And then he gets to a spot where he kind of huddles up in a corner and he's striking on a flint to light the torch. And he gets it lit, and her face is like right there immediately.
Okay.
And she goes, no matter how dark it is, light's very existence makes it bright. And then, like, she kind of fades back, and then you just see sort of the sparkle of gems and stuff, metals, like veins of metal in the
Yeah.
ceiling of the chamber. And he kind of sits there with the torch for a minute and realizes, like, nothing was chasing him at all.
Mhm.
And he kind of breathes and goes, oh, okay, all right. You know, that when you first wake up from a dream that was scary, but then you kind of resolved it, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm not, yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay.
Nice. Okay. I think as you're running, like in the part where you're a little bit afraid, there's like this strange glow behind you that's kind of like it's like an orb shape, and it's all this there. Like you can kind of see it when you turn your head, but you're running like kids run just like full bore. They kind of like look back and you run, and it's just like this strange kind of glowing aqua color, and just and when you turn and you're trying to light the flint, it seems like it's getting a little bit closer to you. Then when the light like sparks and her face is there, when she's gone, that the orb is gone as well.
Okay.
All right. Those are awesome. I love you all so much. Okay. So you all wake up. You're refreshed. We should all be at full endurance.
But we still have some fatigue, right?
I have so much fatigue.
So much fatigue. Okay.
We took some sleeps.
Yeah, you guys took some sleeps. I
Did
think
we
we
do that
should have.
travel roll, or what is it that
Because
we
we
roll to
traveled
lose?
here.
You traveled here, but didn't we do the first night? Didn't you clear a bunch of fatigue after your first with the ghosts, or no?
I don't think so.
I
I think I meant
I don't-
to, and then
I
I
don't
got
think we
like
played
really caught
15.
up in
Okay.
describing a numinous.
Because we took fatigue from, like almost drowning. And
Yeah.
we took fatigue getting here.
Right.
And I've
Yeah.
just never been without fatigue because
Okay.
Always tired.
Well, I meant to clear some of the fatigue after you met the ghost. Like,
Okay.
like those dreams were supposed to take away some of the fatigue.
Oh.
So I think I meant to do that and I forgot. But your restful sleep should have taken away some of that. I just want to make sure we're all.
how many would you
Yeah.
like us to remove?
Yeah.
Let me look. Let's see. You're only supposed to do the fatigue like at the end of the journey, but I feel like we should already have.
Well, that kind of would have been.
Yeah, that was part
When
of
we
it.
got to.
I mean, we did take a whole day on the beach too, building the
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and you also so you should have when we finished our travel when we got to the edge of the lake, we should have reduced your fatigue by your vigor rating. And then 1 point you need to also for your mount / elven feet.
Mhm.
So most of you, that's 1 for a common horse. If you're prosperous, you have a good horse, and that's 2. I think only one of you has a good horse.
My horse is real good.
Right. I do also.
Yeah. So that should have been cleared.
What's our vigor rating?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Your vigor rating should be on your character sheet. I think that's the number above. That's a good question.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It just doesn't. It doesn't have a picture. So let me see
Yeah.
your character sheet real quick.
The word vigor does not appear.
Yeah,
on
I'm reading the whole page.
Anywhere.
Uh oh. This is what we get for doing the special character sheets.
it.
So it does not appear in this AP.
Oh yeah, it's off to the left hand side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's your heart TN.
Oh.
So sorry, we're
Oh.
using custom character sheets that we found that have a better layout for the most part. But then
That's valor.
oh, it says Valor. Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Vigor.
Valor. I was like, huh?
oops, sorry.
It's another V word. But...
Yeah. Well, we've had enough. I mean, we've had now 2 good nights of sleep blessed by a ghost. Like, I feel like you're probably fine. Like, unless you were in like, were you at like 10?
No, I'm
No.
at 6, and I
I
should
was
probably
gonna
be the
say.
most.
Okay, yeah,
was at
no, you guys are
4,
fine.
yeah.
You can get rid of all your.
Okay.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
great.
It's the most rested I've been this entire
whole
game.
time. I mean,
Tomorrow morning, Aerlind's just like bright-eyed and
Oh, yeah.
like.
A little
Hey,
bit,
everybody.
though.
yeah. So, I mean, 2 good nights of prepared sleep with ghosts singing to you. You're fine.
Fabulous.
Best sleep ever. Ghost
Yeah.
songs.
Also, like Rangers, like it looks like sort of rugged and like,
But
it's very comfortable.
this is how they live.
Yeah, they
It's
live
nice.
this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they call a camp is really their home. So
Yeah.
it looks rustic, but it's really nice. All right, so yeah, you should be all kind of rested up, and that's kind of I wanted to do those dreams partially for that. It's sort of like her last little blessing. To
Love
you.
it.
Oh, okay.
I just love the idea of
Ghost
like
ever.
I know, I love her.
Dunedain glamping.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
So wake before first light, truly, and pack the boats the rest
Mhm.
of the way. And finish our preparations.
And you've made lists of what you have. You've taken oil. You've all prepared your weapons as best they can for
Mhm.
fire,
Mm-hmm.
such things. And we're going to say each of you have an extra hope point,
Great.
Ooh.
also from your dreams last night.
I think since I have 2 swords because obviously, so I'm gonna rig one of them so that the sheath has oil inside of it, and then on the opening there's a flint, so as she pulls it out, it catches fire.
Very nice.
Pretty rad.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are your swords like heirlooms or anything?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, no, I'm asking like.
I thought you
in
have one that
character.
has some special thing.
Oh, I have
I'm
I
asking.
think it's a reward that is
Mhm.
one of them's grievous. Yeah.
Are you up for it being slightly marked or like I'm asking? Like my idea is that you pull the sword from the sheath, and it has like a little bit of like ancient writing on it
Mm-hmm.
from like where she touched it in your
Yeah.
drink.
Oh, 100%. Yes,
Oh.
please.
That's sort of my like. It doesn't really do anything, but it's cool.
But it looks
So,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Here
right.
for it.
I should have known like, hey, are you up for ghost stuff?
Yeah. The answer is always
The
yes.
answer is yes. So each of you also have kind of a slight modification to something. You may not even notice. Like you would notice because you like are constantly sharpening and caring for your swords. But there's something each of you have that kind of represents what happened in your dream last night. So, are you okay with your hammer having something on it?
I think it would probably be the torch. Does it have that special torch?
Yes, it could be the torch. My thought would be it would be on your I'm sorry, it was an axe, right? I
Yeah.
apologize. Your axe has like a little bit of like fire like carved in it, like brightness. But I'm also fine if you'd rather it be the torch.
Well, I think it makes sense as the torch
Okay, cool.
because he wasn't using his axe in the
Okay.
dream, so that was the thing.
Oh.
Especially as it was like right between them when he lit it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, and you notice that your torch like lights super easy now too. It's got like the same kind of ancient writing kind of carved around the little metal band near the top.
Sure,
That's
sure.
just holding it together.
That's cool.
Yeah. Not like enough to use as like a special thing, but just cool. This is all flavor, not
Beautiful flavor.
Yes. Not mechanics, flavor.
Yeah.
Where is yours?
Mine, I'm going to say that in my dream, a thrower actually touched my shoulder.
Okay.
And so on the shoulder of my leather shirt, there is a mark.
Oh,
And I'm going to say it's how the water is represented in the carvings up at the top of that tower.
oh, okay.
And so, like when you look at the carvings of the lake and the islands in that room, there's a specific pattern that the water is carved in, and it's just a slight little band
Yeah,
on the edge of the shoulder.
that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Aerlind.
I think he keeps his astrolabe in a leather case on his hip.
Mhm.
And I think it was just part of the dream. It wasn't like a big featured thing. It's just something he always has on him. And I think that she touched the leather case and it has birds on it now.
Very cool. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. You are prepared for your journey. Celebrusk and Gastelon are going with you. You have 2 boats, and for yourselves, the 3 people can go in each boat, and then you have 1 as requested for your supplies.
That will like tow or tug.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they have like oars, so you have
Okay.
to. They're small boats.
Can you use that sail of yours?
Not on these.
No, too small. Okay.
There's no
Fair.
keel. We'll
Alright,
just
yeah,
keel
wasn't
right
sure.
over.
Know anything about these boats, so it's your speciality.
Yes, with oars.
So much shade to these boaters.
If you're looking at the ranger like kind of rolls their eyes a little.
He's trying so hard to be like earnest about
Yeah.
it, but he just can't keep it off his tongue.
Totally fine.
Every so often you see Aerlind seems pretty normal, and then every so often a little bit of that like I am in fact an elf
Yes.
just comes out of his mouth.
You see
Probably
these
more.
little,
Yeah.
you see the little vessels, and you're like, oh, how quaint.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
We should probably put one of each of you in each boat, since
Yeah.
you were the ranged
Yes.
attackers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're also probably the rowers.
Yes.
Of
Yeah,
the
I'm
group.
happy to
Sorry.
row. And you can...
Weird. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine divvying up however you all want to divvy up. Isn't
Bless
it?
you.
You want to stick together?
That's
in one
fine.
boat,
Yeah.
and the 2 of you can stick together in another boat.
Sure.
Also, for height reasons, I think that you shouldn't shoot over her head.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, now if we're going with this theme, who's taller, Celebros or Gastelon?
Celebros is definitely the taller.
Okay, Celebros goes
Okay.
with you.
He's
and
going
then-
Are they taking their own boat?
Well, there's 2 boats.
Okay.
And then the one for the supplies. 3 people can.
Oh,
or 3
3 people.
beings can fit in each boat.
3 beings per
Oh.
boat. Got it.
Okay, we'll take
Yes.
the tall one.
We'll take the tall one.
the tall boat and, yeah.
And then are we just hitched to the supply boat and we're
Yeah,
dragging
that
along?
one's just kind of tied to one or
Oh, that's
both. Now you mentioned tying all the boats together.
I think that Aerlind would be like,
That's
this
probably
seems
a
like a
bad idea.
poor choice.
Okay, all right. So we'll keep your boat untethered, and then we'll tether
All right.
the supply boat to ours.
Sure.
Okay.
And you're leaving first lights?
when the sun hits the top of the tower, we would start to get in the boats.
Okay.
That would be Aerlind's kind of plan.
Okay.
Okay.
So like late, a little bit after mid morning. So
No,
no, like
like-
earlier than that.
First.
yeah,
thing.
not when the sun's overhead. I mean when the light hits the top of the tower
Okay.
from
Oh,
the
I
sun.
see. From
So,
Coming
like,
over the
it's
mountain.
Got it, got it.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Gotcha.
Before it
So-
even has a chance to get all the way down to where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're
we'll
like getting in the
say-
boats.
Okay, we'll say like 8:30.
Somewhere
Okay.
early.
There's
Early.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm. Enough time to have breakfast and
Yeah,
7:45
7:45
on the dot.
exactly that.
7:45. Okay. All right. You are in your boats. You are traveling across the lake. Who's rowing? Okay.
And I'll row for sure.
Okay.
I'll be at the head of the boat, and it occurs to me that what I heard in my dream about breathing with the water is just that I start feeling sick as we head out, but then as I kind of like take breaths with the movement of the boat and the water, I start feeling better, and I realize, you know what? That's the gift that I was given.
I love that. That's amazing.
And I'd like to be a lookout. I know I'm also with rangers who are going to be way better at it, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, we're gonna minimize how much Kimi rolls
Yes.
for NPCs.
Yes, absolutely. Please don't actually roll
Yeah,
for
we're
them.
not having GM NPCs here. So, yeah, the way it works generally is you will just get advantages in combat to kind of represent the rangers. I'm not gonna roll the rangers every round because then I'm like, it's all me all the time rolling, and that's no fun. So you'll get advantages for them and to represent the benefits you'd have for having them in combat with you.
Cool.
All right. You're traveling out across the lake. You are both very capable, strong people. I'm not going to have you roll for rowing rowboats. You can definitely do it. You know where you're going. There's a giant bank of
Mist-
fog.
Yeah.
You did it with an axe.
Yeah.
You should be fine with an oar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a real oar.
Yes, exactly.
It's just about like it takes it probably a little while to get the coordination of like not pulling too hard with his dominant hand and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the rangers being kind and kind of giving you some tips. And they probably swap off with you. Like, it's not a huge thing. And you have a fairly, like, how are you feeling as you go? I know you're not feeling sick anymore, Sausage, but what are the emotions going through your head as you are going across this lake towards the being of darkness?
I'm certainly nervous about it because as we're plowing into the fog, I remember the sight of seeing something just, something big like plop into the water. I've got that little bowl of like coals next to me. I've got my arrows ready, soaked in oil. I've got a flint in my hand ready to strike against that bowl to light the coals, and I'm nervous, but I'm on my guard.
Let's see. There's not like a luck roll. I'm trying to decide like how I want to do this. I'm gonna have so you're keeping watch on your boat?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, and I'd like someone on each boat to roll scan.
I'm at the head of my boat, so I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll burn a hope point.
Okay.
I think specifically Hannar is not looking at the lake. Like he's just like
All attention on rowing.
yeah.
Okay, 13 out of 14.
Okay.
I made it for days. I'm
Okay,
at a 16 out of, and I only needed 12.
Nice.
And as he's looking, he quietly sends a prayer to Ulmo, the god of the sea.
Yeah. You are going across the lake, and there's a few times where you think you might hear something, but nothing happens until. Which one of the islands are you aiming for?
Well, the first one we
That's a
see
good
that isn't the big
question.
X.
Yeah, probably the
yeah.
closest one. Yeah, that's not the Death Island or the pointy one.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to again, kind of thinking of it as the 5 on the die, the lower, looking at the die, like right one. It's a a little bit rocky. There are a few smaller like inlets. I don't want to say beach. Beach is too generous a term. It's much smaller than that. But it's basically like a place where you could dock a boat and get out. Probably like 10 feet of sandish, kind of surrounded by what looks very much like kind of the Northern California coast, a lot of it,
Okay.
where it's like craggy, like cliffs, but like foresty on the top. There's some ruins on the top where probably once beautiful homes, you had beautiful views of the lake from the top of these cliffs, with smaller little like island or beaches with some pathways and ways you can go up. It's definitely not like full cliffs. We're talking like 8 or 10 feet because it's a pretty small little island.
And not like long stretches of beach either, just like enough to kind of
Yeah.
beach the boats.
Yeah, like small little like 10-foot like half circles,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Does it look like the water level's gonna rise?
It does a bit, but being a lake, like it's not like full tide like you'd have, but it is a very large lake, so it does have some tide a little bit, but nothing like the island's not going to be completely swept away.
No. It's more to think of like where we're leaving the boats.
Yeah.
This kind of and like trying to get it so that we're luring this creature and it's obviously not gonna happen in this 10-foot bay.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna have to scout for
A place.
an ideal trap site.
Well, do you guys want to stay in the boat and scout around the island? Or do you want us to do that maybe?
We could do that.
We could do that. We could also scout the island on the land part where there's not a
Yeah,
beast
that's what I was
lurking
thinking.
below the
What time of day is it?
We'll say you left at 7:45, so no, we'll say it's probably like 11.
Okay.
so we've
So
got
we've got
plenty of
time.
day.
We've got
Yeah.
daylight. I think it would be faster to do it by boat.
Agreed.
Or do we all want to just make a circle around the island?
I think your boat and the supply boat should stay ashore.
Especially with the deer.
Yes. And we'll make a circuit around the island and look for an ideal place to make our stand.
Maybe if you find a spot, fire an arrow in the sky.
I can do that.
Carry
Alright.
the supplies over with the rangers.
All right, very good.
And the island's not huge, right?
Oh no,
Like you could walk across it fairly
in a
comfortably.
few minutes.
Okay.
Like it's probably the size of like a block, like even a full city block,
Sure,
like a
okay.
neighborhood block. So this one a little bit smaller. You can see most of the islands now. Like even though it's still foggy, you can make out the outlines of them because they're close enough now. So you saw the sharp glass like one when you passed it. It was off to the left. You stopped here. You can see the tall one in the center, and you can even kind of see the sunlight kind of reflecting off the top. It seems like on really warm days, it kind of pops out of the top of the fog, so that you can see that.
This fog. Do I have like where is it? What's going on with the fog?
It is not eating your bones.
No.
Bones are intact. It seems like it might just be a natural phenomenon because of these islands here and just the moisture being kind of caught around them with the air. And so like the heat of summer, the bright summer, kind of like it's not there. But right now you're not getting vibes of it being evil or like put here for any nefarious purposes.
Just local lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Just part of what's there.
Great. Aerlind.
It probably was like even in the carvings a little bit. Like they wanted to show you the islands, but there's probably some sort of like depiction in the background a little bit of the fog.
Cool. Yeah. So we're gonna take a little circle tour.
Yeah, we should also keep an eye out for the other rangers.
Yes.
If they are here, they could join the fray.
Well, we can look the interior for rangers.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
guys
While
look
you're,
for a ambush site.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah, as we go around, we'll be within like viewing distance of one of the other islands, right? Not the center one.
Sorry.
Will
repeat.
we be able to see one of the other two?
You can kind of see them like
Islands.
outlined a little bit in the fog.
Okay.
So you can see that they're there. You can't get like a lot of detail, but
Okay.
it seems very similar in makeup to this one. But you can see they are bigger
Okay.
than this one is. But again, kind of like, oh look, those are little cliffs, and then there's like foresty on the top. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Going around.
And
Make a
And then we
loop.
can
I
Hike
will
up the
row
cliff
if you'd
and-
like.
yeah.
I don't mind rowing.
All right.
It's good for the arms. I might have to climb that thing later.
I feel like that would be counterintuitive. Working your arms now only to make them sore later.
Need a
So
warm
you're
up before you
looking-
climb that.
We're going around the island to look for a larger area where we might be able to make a stand.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you. Who's doing that?
Just us.
Just you? Okay. I'm gonna have both of you roll battle, please.
Huh.
Okay.
Battle is to know the rules of battle, be able to notice like, hey, we can use this as a strategic advantage, such things like that.
I'm gonna use a hope point on that
Mhm.
because this
Okay.
seems important.
I would have to roll so well.
So that means it gives me an extra dice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that thing. I'm even gonna call it
Wait.
before I roll because there's
Okay.
no way I'm gonna succeed at this on its own.
Okay.
So glad I did that.
Okay.
I just wanted to roll and see if anything special. No, I just I do it.
Okay. Good job.
17.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, and I got a 6 on one of my dice.
Ooh.
No, very nice.
And I
Okay, so you get
succeeded.
an extra success.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you both made it. You got an extra success.
Yes.
Okay. And no Gandalf runes?
No Gandalf
okay.
runes.
Figured I'd ask. Okay. So you are looking at this this island as you're going around it. You notice that there aren't a lot of like open areas that are low to the thing. There's that one small cove where you like first noticed when you came in. As you go around, it's a lot of like cliffs, which probably would be good for like ranged attacks, but might not be so hot for people who had to go like up and fight this thing. So that would be your best bet here.
Mhm.
And unless you wanted to like do combat from boats, but do not suggest that.
No.
Spoilers, don't do that.
We've been warned.
yeah.
Aerlind has a vested interest in surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight the fish on land. That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do see as you scatter on the island, there is a boat that looks surprisingly like the one you're in that is like has been crushed up against the rocks on
Ooh.
one side.
We should look at that.
Is there blood on it?
No, but there's big chunks missing from it.
Mhm.
There are, in modern terms, the easiest way to describe it would be like what looks like shark bites, but they're about 6 feet across.
We should get to land.
I'm just
Agreed.
laughing because
I-
of the shirt I picked out.
Me too.
Yeah. The Jaws shirt was
Yeah,
a good choice.
Yeah.
It's certainly set a tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have a bigger boat. I hope whoever was in that boat made it to land. If they're on this island, though, we could use their help.
Yes.
We'll land at the next
Thank
little
you.
inlet. Get you off the water.
Never been so afraid of water in his life.
Right. And
Yeah,
And then we're gonna scramble up the cliffside
Okay.
and look around up top.
okay, so your boats are parked are
Pulled
are
up on the
pulled up on the
sand.
sand
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the small little inlet.
and we're leaving it with our ranger companion.
Okay. And the deer is still in the other one.
As far as we know.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. I'm just double checking.
Theoretically ashore.
Yeah,
That's why we left them there.
Yeah. that's fine.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
not floating out.
Yes.
We've reeled it in, so it is also pulled up on the beach.
Okay, so it's like pulled all the way up. It's not like halfway.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Okay.
Because the idea was like we'd see the arrow signal, we'd
Mhm.
pick up the stuff and carry it
Okay.
in that direction. But
Okay.
in the meantime, while they're doing that, we'll
Okay. So you're climbing up the cliff.
Yeah.
It's not like super high. You both can do that. I'm not gonna have you roll for that. As you climb the cliff, you get kind of to the top where it's flatter. It's covered with brush. Nothing quite like grass. But you know that kind of oceany grass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that kind of covers the tops of the cliffs there, and it kind of builds into brush and then to like trees. It's not a full forest because it's
Yeah.
too small of an island, but there is a lot of they're very large trees that have been here for a very long time, and they're pine trees looking. And then when you get to the kind of the center of the island, there's actually a what was probably a really lovely villa that has been pretty much completely reclaimed by nature. But it's all there. And you can see in the middle there is what was a recent fire pit. So someone used this for shelter at some point fairly recently.
Okay. As we walk around, I'll check to see if there are any other. I'll kind of again use my spear to set brush aside to see if I can find any other traces of who might have been here.
Not a lot. There's some tracks and stuff. Obviously, some people were
Sure.
camping here. You can see that they're they like there might have been some tents set up, but they aren't here now.
They moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it has been in the last few weeks. This isn't like ancient.
nor is the fire like still hot.
No,
It was
no,
burning last night. Or
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, perhaps they went on to a different island?
Maybe.
Because if they made it up here and camped, I can't envision a sea creature clambering up the cliff and getting all the way into the interior of the island to get them.
Yeah, I think we would see other signs besides this.
Right, yeah. There would probably be broken trees and stuff.
Yeah.
For those of you listening at home, I'm randomly rolling a d12. It's totally fine. Has nothing to do with anything.
We're not
All
concerned.
good.
Don't be concerned.
But yeah, I think I'd probably go back to the boat.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, if we don't see anything, I might linger at the top of the cliff and just kind of scan around. Maybe take a look at the other islands and just like study them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From here you can kind of see a little bit better. And again, as the day goes on, it's noon, so the fog is like almost gone down. Like it's kind of like at the bottom. So the islands almost look like islands in the fog now. You can kind of see the tops of them. If you look across, you can see the tall one, obviously, and it's actually shining pretty brightly at the top. You do notice the stone is a different color than the one from your ruins.
Okay.
It seems like a similar like sheen, but just a slightly different color on the spectrum. And then you look kind of straight past that, like across at the island, directly across on the other side of the tall little spire island. That one seems like the biggest island, and that one has like a large cove underneath it, with sheer cliff face going up pretty high. Like those look like actual cliffs,
Okay.
like maybe 50 or 60 feet straight up from like a rocky cove. It's sort of a large kind of crescent shape around that. You can see a lot of like trees and stuff at the top. It's a little bit hard to see the top of. It also looks like there's some more rocks at the top. Slightly to your right as you look across, kind of to the north, there is another island that looks a little bit more, it's like sloped. It almost has more of a large cove and then seems to gradually slope up. So it has what look like, maybe it's hard to see because that's the part that's covered by the fog, but it seems to be even like lower than the island you're on. Like there's like little 8-foot little like ring of like cliff, quote cliff, around the edge of your little island. Like this seems like it almost doesn't even have that. But it goes up higher than your island, to what looks like probably cliffs on the opposite side.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll take note of all that.
Does random question?
Mhm.
Does the central pillar, whatever's in there reflecting light, does it seem like our tower back where we settled in?
Mhm.
All of the stuff was gone,
Mhm.
including whatever gem might have been up there or whatever. Does it seem like there's something in particular up there that's shiny and doing this, or is it just the tower itself that's kind of reflecting the light?
Well, yours still has the light
Mhm.
because yours wasn't a gem necessarily. Like it's kind of a quartzy thing, so it's not like a
Right.
precious stone. Yours is kind of become such a ruin. It's hard to tell. Like was it? You know, they put it up there on like they obviously put it there on purpose, but you couldn't tell like is it crafted to be a symbol for something? You know, on like that one time of year, it seems to line up perfectly
Light
with the
up, so,
sun.
Yeah.
This seems to be doing it a little bit more frequently, which makes a little more sense because it's in the middle of a lake where it gets sun all the time.
Sure.
But you do notice that it is kind of a similar style. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Does that answer your question?
Having additional question.
Yeah.
Having seen the way ours is,
Mhm.
can you manipulate it at all? Like, can you?
Would you have climbed up there to like mess with it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Runa.
Definitely would.
Yeah.
And yours is built into like the thing. So it's more. There's not a way to like.
It's more like it's an integrated piece of stone with the tower.
Yes, you
Okay.
have not found a way to like turn it a certain way and like it does a beam of light that points to a map that like none of that has been
Okay.
something you find.
Well, specifically, like if it looked like
You got the
ours
reference.
could be
Yes.
turned around or moved or manipulated in some way, if this one seems to be reflecting light better or
Mhm.
differently than ours, maybe this one could be manipulated too and shine sunlight down like on a horrible monster of darkness. For example, but if ours didn't do that, I'm not gonna think to want to go up there.
Like I feel like this is it's a possibility. Like it's a stone sitting on top of a thing. Like it doesn't have like a mechanism to turn it, but it's probably something you could manipulate. It may not be designed to be a weapon against a lake monster, but it is a shiny, bright stone that is reflecting light very brightly.
Well, we're gonna stick with Plan A,
Okay.
but it's a possibility then.
Okay.
Plan B is laser beam the fish monster.
This one, as you're there, you see this one is a little bit larger than the one at your ruins. So whether this is like a central hub and like a communicate, like who knows, like what it is. But this is a very similar style. Like I said, it's a little bit larger. It's a different, slightly different like color.
Gotcha.
Keep wanting to say tone, and it's like we're way into music. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
We make our way back.
Okay.
Across the land, though. Right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the moment it's suggested, Aaron's like, yes.
There's pretty much just that one little inlet where you can pull your boat up.
Okay,
so you
so
have
Oh,
to
okay,
go
we have to go back.
all the way around.
Okay,
Unless
that's
you
fine.
want to pull up to like a cliff face and
Nope.
climb.
No, we want to keep
Bruna's
the
like,
boat
not today.
uneaten.
Yeah, we need our boat.
Yeah, so you pull your boat up to that same thing and pull it up. Okay.
Any luck?
This seems to be the only inlet on this island, unfortunately. We did find a ranger boat that looked rather worse for wear, as if it had been a bit
Was-
eaten.
Some notable teeth marks.
No blood, though, so I have hope that the occupants escaped.
Hopefully so. Hannar and I, we took a little walk around the island, and we found an old campfire.
Oh.
Somebody's been here. Hopefully not somebody who got eaten trying to leave.
The unfortunate news is there's no other bays, so this is probably not the place for our stand.
I did see the bigger island over that way past the tower. Do we want to start heading that way, maybe?
Sure.
We could.
Yeah.
Oh, we still have the light. We should go.
Yeah.
If that's a
well,
more promising place to make a stand.
We'll have to go past the smaller one on the way?
The smaller tower island. Yeah, we'll have to pass that on the way, I believe.
We're going like straight across.
Ah, okay.
We're going for the one that seemed like it wasn't a 50-foot cliff face, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the one that.
Yeah. The slanty one.
Yeah.
The slanty one?
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
That's the one kind of to the right. That's not the one directly
Yeah.
across.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was directly across.
No,
Sorry.
directly across is the one with the big cliff face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not
so,
that one.
Okay.
Other one.
Slanty Island.
Yes.
Slantia.
Wonderful.
That sounds like a much better ingress for a giant aquatic
Right,
monster.
I mean, usually you choose the island that isn't the easy one for a giant aquatic monster to come on.
We
to,
do want
but-
it on the
Yeah,
land,
yeah.
though.
want to be able to lure it. Yeah.
But we'll head over there.
I mean, you can fight it like
No.
on a cliff face where it can stay in the water the whole time if you want.
I don't want to do
We
that.
want to lure it ashore.
Okay. I mean,
Because even though like we have fire things that can be useful against it, if it's in the water, they don't last long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's Plan D.
yeah.
Yeah. For depth.
yeah.
It's going down. Yeah.
All right. So you make your way
It's
across
rolling
to the other one.
again.
All right. You make it across because I am not rolling what I put in my head for the thing.
Okay.
So here you see that there are a few more kind of beaches, but kind of the same thing where they're a little bit more small coves. But here there's a cove and it's like a 4-foot kind of like lip until it's like hits like what is kind of like rocky but like walkable land where there's like tufts of the kind of seagrass and there are trees there. And it's a little bit of like a flat area going up kind of to what it's kind of a barren hill at the top, actually.
okay.
Great.
Mm.
Now we're not going to
Hmm.
burn down a whole mini forest either.
Yeah.
That seagrass sounds flammable.
Yeah.
Are there any
Stones are good.
places we can kind of like just tuck ourselves behind, like boulders or
Roll scan for me.
dollops of? Okay, well, let's see.
Dollops.
No, I'm sorry. It
No,
was
that's
divots.
Yeah, no.
Not dollops of.
I was thinking like bushes,
yeah,
dollops.
Dollops.
divots in the land
Yeah.
where you can like.
What was that mondo grass that grows in the big
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Okay, words. There's only I have a 1 in 12 chance of getting a success on this scan,
Okay.
and that's only
I
if
mean,
I
other
get the
people can
Gandalf.
scan. Like, you're
I-
here, you're all
I
kind
am
of...
happy to scan.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Hey!
I got the 1 in 12.
You did.
I got the Gandalf for it.
Nice.
Okay.
You
Love
crushed
that.
I don't need to
Crushing it.
roll.
Amazing. So you're like looking, you notice,
when hobbits need to hide.
yeah, no
Yeah,
magic.
yeah.
The die know. Like you kind of look up and like over this little kind of lip and like to the left there are some big rocks and you almost notice it looks like a cave.
Oh,
Like it's small, like it's a small entrance and it's hidden like in the shadows, but because you rolled like miraculously and your hobbit instincts are like there. That is where I can hide and like turn into the shadow. And
okay. I got my spot.
I think I'm gonna spend time setting up the fake giant deer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mhm.
wedge together some boards and drape it with fur
Mhm.
or leather and put the carcass inside so it makes the smell
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
kind of to lure it up, and then we can. I don't know if we want to make a.
I was gonna
That was,
Yeah.
yeah.
dig some trenches.
Yeah, I was going to lay oil.
Yeah.
Cool.
So-
You're able to do that.
And we dig trench,
Mm-hmm.
and then Aerlind soaks like just fabric and things like that, and probably
Mhm.
some like leaves and whatever in oil and puts it in the trench.
Mm-hmm.
So we make a fire line.
I'll gather some of the dry seagrass and like put it kind of in a perimeter, like just inside of that to kind of like
Catch.
catch the
Mhm.
fire and like make it a little bit bigger to really trap that sea monster.
Awesome.
You know, with that miraculous scan roll, can I find spots for everybody too? Like just general locations where we might be able to place ourselves around this area? If, you know, at least for you and me, if we want to shoot arrows.
I mean, I'm
out.
going deep.
Okay, all right.
I mean, the cave seems important.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, I'm definitely checking the cave out.
Okay,
and,
good.
You know, yeah. there's no way.
Yeah.
Also, the rangers are kind of like taking like laps and they're scouting the island. They're leaving the prep for the battle to you because at this point they almost feel like you are here for this purpose, and they are trusting most of the decisions about the actual combat and setting the trap for this monster to you. The city has chosen you to be its champions. Is sort of how they feel. No pressure. So they are more scouting to see if they can find more signs of their companions and things like that.
Okay.
At the same time, they haven't been super successful. I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
throw shade on the Rangers.
That's my job today.
Yeah. Accurate. Like
Maybe somebody else's approach is a good thing to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think while laying the rags and all the stuff, Aerlind is gonna look for a place that is like higher ground. I know it's kind of just like a flat slope by your description, but like a place where he has a good vantage point, but isn't even kind of at risk of being actually physically in the fray because his whole job is shooty arrow good.
Yeah. Well, it's not exactly a flat slope. It's a smooth slope up to the top of this hill.
Okay.
If you're at the top of the hill, you're probably too far away, but there's definitely places along the way where there's like rocky outcroppings and trees and bushes and things like that. So you're absolutely able to find something in range that has a little bit of cover.
Cool. And whatever's opposite what Sausage is doing would kind of be the goal because then we'd be on opposite sides shooting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Let's also if you already rolled go ahead and roll battle for me.
All of us?
Everybody.
Okay.
Well, you've kind of already found you've rolled scan to find your hiding places.
Yeah.
So you're good. If you want to roll scan as well to find your hiding places, but the two of you, I'd like you to roll battle since you are actually going to be at least some of the time
I
engaging.
am
No.
a dwarf that's hiding behind a very thin tree.
Cool.
Actually, instead of looking around, I think he would look to the water
Oh, okay.
and kind of like listen and kind of feel out what is going on out there and like kind of keep stock that way.
Okay. Yeah. And did you roll? I'm sorry.
No, I haven't. You still want me to roll scan, awareness?
Awareness is more like passive. Like
Sure.
So if you're actually looking for something, it would be scan or battle.
Maybe scan.
Okay.
I'm burning a hope point for this one.
Okay.
Oh, freaking. Okay.
Yes! I very much succeed.
Excellent.
That is a 6 with my rune plus it's 19.
All right. As you are looking out, you find like the perfect place, like the exact right angle that you can like shoot arrows. And you also, like while you're looking from this angle, you see some of the boats that look so much like yours, like pulled up into the bushes, like off to the side. Like, and they're upside down and
They're tucked.
yeah, they're tucked, they're hidden. And you, now that you're looking out, you can see like some remnants of one like floating way out for where you didn't notice before.
I think I would, if I could get, if they're not far, get Celebrosk's attention and just point that out to both of them. And
Yeah. Well, those are the boats. If they've been hidden in the bushes here, there must be at least some survivors, or at least there were survivors here.
it's promising.
Yes.
We should definitely have a look around for them.
Yes, but we've already set a trap.
Yes. Maybe they'll come when we start yelling and hitting things. By the way, I rolled battle and I succeeded with an extra success.
Okay, perfect. So you are able to like find the like a strategic position. So you realize that like this small kind of lip might be enough to like have this beast be on land because they will be on the sand, but not able to go past that point maybe, or at least slow them down a little bit. Because from what was described to you, as they are able to move on land, but not super well.
Okay.
So, gonna kind of give you the image if you've ever seen like orca whales hunt on sands.
Yeah.
They kind of like can beach themselves. This is a little bit better than that. This one they can actually manipulate with their kind of like the mud skippers.
The Grunion,
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
Some sort
Stuff
of
like
thing.
that. So it can move on land. It has some agency and choice about where it can crawl, but it's not, it's not like a hippo attacking you or something.
Better than a whale, less good than a frog.
Yes, absolutely. Much less good than a frog.
Great.
And no jumping,
No.
at
That's
least
good.
from what they know.
We don't want jumping.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Jumping is a bad.
Aerlind is thoroughly afraid of
Big
this.
jumping
You might
thing,
actually
yeah.
get a scream out of them if this thing could jump.
Oh yeah. Oh, so
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
it finally happened.
Oh, yeah, of course it did.
So while you're there planning, and you found kind of like the perfect little ledge that will hopefully like serve, the water, like right off the edge of the beach, just starts like frothing, and
Yeah.
like almost like bubbling, like a rolling bubble, like you'd have if you were boiling a pot, but a little bit more splashy. Like there's something under there more than like actual bubbles. And you hear probably those of you who have very good hearing, probably just the elf, like hear like this, like almost high pitched, like sonic sound, like sort of like whale calls, but like gross and like awful.
I think he fully like winces and covers his ears.
Mhm. And go ahead and pull up the thing in just a moment. And what kind of like it doesn't come all the way onto the sand, but it kind of like rises out of the deep. What looks like a massive anglerfish. So from like the depths of the ocean, something that looks like its jaws are just not proportional with its face. It has kind of off the top of it a sphere that's this strange glowing aqua color. That it's not glowing very brightly now because it's the middle of the day, but you can tell that it kind of like sticks out like over its face and hangs kind of in front of it, and it kind of can swing it around, and then it's got like these kind of glassy like white eyes, and it's got like 4 sets of them, getting a little bit smaller as it goes down, and it's hard to tell. It looks like some of them are like cloudy so that they don't see anymore. They all kind of look at the same time, so it's not like a chameleon where they can look different places. They all like look together, but some of them are very clearly not seeing anymore. Some of them literally have like slashes across them from past battles. It has these thick scales, but it's hard to tell where the scales end and where like the moss and just like crusted like bottom of the lake that's become attached to it over time.
We love him.
You
I know, I kind of am in love with Kai. I'm in love with him.
Runa is horrified. Me, I'm like, want to
So
take home my kids.
New friend.
Friend shaped.
Yeah, like just like, and then there's like just like spiny kind of looks all over. It has 6 kind of feet below it. They're fins, but they also kind of spread out as it kind of like comes on land, and they kind of like move together. It's kind of like, you know, have a centipede, like all the feet on one side move at the same
Yes,
time.
Good.
Just like, the more horrifying I make it, so it's like,
Friend.
yes, so this is the doom of this lake, and there's just like a vile presence to it.
Is it going for us? Or is it going for the bait?
That's the question.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
a
a
good
good
question.
question.
So where are you all right now? Let's like we're not as far as the combat, where are you stances, but like, where are you standing at this moment? Like, when this frothing starts to happen in the water, what do you do?
Well, I noticed and heard it pretty clearly. I think Aerlind was just by the boats, talking to our Dunedain, and probably close to where they were gonna be anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So probably just already ready and at a decent distance at the opposite side from where Sausage is.
Okay.
I feel like Runa would be kind of like staging herself near where the trenches are to light them on fire once the fish monster gets like into our trap, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gotta set that fire.
Okay.
Gonna be
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about the same distance away from the site as Aerlind is.
Okay.
And I've got an arrow ready. And again, I've got like flint ready to,
The fire. Okay.
yeah, to light that little bowl
Okay.
beside me.
Perfect.
And I think I've probably taken up, because I wasn't so good with finding a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably taken up a spot that's sort of right by the decoy,
Okay.
right? Like I probably like as we were all kind of finding a spot to hide, I noticed that like some of the hides had come loose.
Mm.
So like I rushed up there to tuck them back in and make it look realistic and stuff. And now I'm standing out there like, all right.
All good. All right. I wish there was like just a luck. It's what I want right now. I know it's Call of Cthulhu, that is luck, but all of you roll a feed die, please. Just one feed die. Oh no. Oh no. You rolled a 1. Okay, that's fine.
I got
Nothing
10.
high.
Me too.
Okay. Perfect.
Yay.
All right.
8.
8. Okay. No one got the Eye of Sauron, and 10s are actually good.
Yay.
Because that, if you were in combat, that would give you a piercing blow.
Mhm.
So we're gonna say those 10s kind of balance out. 1, I'm not super worried about. It's just mostly like that's Eye of Sauron. If
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
got that, or the
yeah.
Gandalf that was gonna put it over the top. So yeah, we're gonna say that the monster does go for the bait.
Cool.
So it has been attracted by the smell of this large game, which generally isn't on these islands except when the Dunedain visit. And so, and it is going for this faux deer that you made on the beach. All right, so it goes for this, and it rolled really, really well. So it quickly kind of scampers up onto the beach, like faster than you would expect, and like clump, one bite, like this thing is in its mouth, like
Holy cow.
completely. Because like I said earlier, like the mouth is like 6 feet across.
Yeah.
It's very large.
Sure.
So it is, and it does the whole like kind of the mouth opens wider than it should, like a fish thing.
Distends its jaw.
Yeah, and it just kind of like very quickly, like this thing is just like off the beach.
Oh, like that one shark. What is the
Yeah.
goblin shark?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
like-
do that.
Mhm.
Extends its whole jaw out and then
Yeah, it kind of. But even regular fish, they are able to like kind of open their mouth bigger than you'd expect.
Mhm.
It's got that creepiness to it, so you can't see ghosts.
It won't fit in my house.
It will not fit in your house.
It would fit in the community pool.
It would. All right, sorry. Let's X out for tone. I started that. I apologize. That's my fault. All right, so it has eaten this bait. What's the next thing you do? You're not in combat quite yet.
It's past the trenches of flame, potential flame. Yes.
Yes, I roll. You put it to reach the
You had to cross
Yes,
the line.
it had
Yeah,
to
you
do-
have to
yes.
cross the line.
It's,
What I'm
its jaw
picturing-
isn't quite that. Like it's not like
Yeah,
it's not a chameleon lip. Like
I'm picturing like a U shape
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
of
my
the
thought.
flaming trenches with the bait in the middle.
okay, so it didn't completely cross it because it's really big. But its body is kind of like right in the middle of the trench.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
as
yeah.
good as it's gonna
Set
get.
him on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna light that thing.
Light the thing. Okay. I'm going to have you roll. There's not a burning things skill, unfortunately.
Well, I'm lighting it with my sword. Can I use my sword skill?
Oh my god.
Or athletic?
Athletics, yeah, I'll take athletics.
Okay.
For your ability to like
Hmm.
jump at it and like make sure it lights perfectly and quickly so it doesn't notice you and that'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like a lot.
I got a 10 on the feat die and
Okay.
18 total. So
Oh, okay, wow. Excellent.
Just puts you always in combat.
That's
Hulk
for
smash.
strength.
The
Um,
secret is treat every roll like combat. I need to climb inside this tower. All right.
Fight the tower.
all right, so the fire, we're gonna say that it's pretty heavy, so it like is kind of sunk down into the sand. So the fire goes up to it and starts burning out on one side, but the fire does not like continue and do
Sure.
the whole
Okay.
horseshoe shape. So the fire goes to it, and you hear this like ear splitting, like almost out of like the like between dog whistle and like the highest pitches that like human ears can hear, as it's like it gets burned on its side, and it like quickly kind of like shoves itself back into the water. Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean, it's burnt,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
does have this giant like kind of burn on one side now.
hmm
And yeah, so it's sitting there and it's like in the water now and it's kind of it's definitely seeing you because it's like fire, follow the fire. Oh, person.
Yeah. Oh, so it's pretty intelligent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You get the vibe like after looking at like it's looking at you and it's like calculating. And it's like you get the idea. It's like looking, and it's not necessarily seeing all of you, but it's definitely remembering times it's battled other things here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay. It's like looking up for things.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So it's not a mindless.
Beast.
Okay.
It may not be like sentient, but it's definitely probably at least like sapient intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did I get those
Okay.
right? Did I
No,
mix them up?
other way.
Other way
Other way
around.
around. Sorry.
Yeah.
Straight that in reverse.
Yeah. Straight. Yeah. Exactly. So
Follow you.
yes.
Then seeing the fire, I think just catching that the fire wasn't going to go all the way around before it even like starts to back up. Aerlind lights an arrow and is gonna shoot when it's time to shoot.
Okay. If you did you do that before, like as you're seeing it's gonna hit?
I think seeing that it's probably not going to travel underneath this thing because I saw her dig the trench. I know what's in there, and it probably also like scraped some of the sand on into our little pit, and that's also going to make it harder to burn. So I think just understanding that he's actually going to light it, thinking that he's going to light the other side of the trench.
Okay.
But then if it's backed away from that trench, then he's going to change his aim.
Okay. I mean, I will let you. I mean, I feel like that's not a unreasonable thing that you'd see it was burning towards it and like try and light the other side. Did you want to do it before?
Nah, it's okay. It could be after.
Okay.
You've done such a beautiful job. Why would I change it back now?
That's fine.
And also, like, he's flinching because it's screaming, so then
Yeah.
he finally gets his
Yeah.
senses back.
So now there is fire now that because the oil was still underneath and it's just in sand, so it can definitely burn. So now there is a kind of a horseshoe of fire on the beach, and it is like slightly off the beach, like its front fin feet, whatever it is, and it's like jaw are kind of on the sand, but the rest of its body, it's basically like shoved the burned area into the lake water. And there's just like this terrible smell of burns, gross mud flesh. Like
Oof.
it's just like a terrible smell.
So it's not like a grilled pompano or anything. Like
No,
That. Okay.
Like burnt moss.
well, like burnt flesh mixed with like
Yeah.
old moss.
Yeah,
it's just
the whole
like
thing is quite a
algae.
smell.
Ugh.
gross. It's
Oh.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So it's like a really bad Islay scotch.
Oh, God. Oh.
like no, that's just no. Like I don't think there's any scotch like Malort. It's like
Oh, no.
Malort's bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and pick our stances then.
There.
Yeah, I just need. Well, we should be okay now, I believe.
Okay.
Looks like it's going out.
Okay, cool.
Talk for me.
I'm talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, OBS ended an update, and I remembered to fix the regular one and not the other one.
Yep.
Open stance means you're kind of like being neutral, you're defending yourself, and you're being offensive at when you can. Defensive means you're obviously being defensive and like fighting hand to hand, but mostly trying to protect yourself. So those are your stances. So go ahead and put your name where you'd like to be. Phone number 1 is the evil doomfish.
Of course it is.
Fish of doom.
Fish of doom.
Or
Yep.
friend.
Friend of doom.
Accurate.
Are you able to click your names or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dragged myself over.
All right. So Runa is in rearward stance.
No, forward stance.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, it just updated.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a couple seconds.
Yeah, mine's a little behind. There you go. Oh, okay, I refreshed. I never missed it. All right. So we're gonna start then with rearward stance. So just kind of a reminder of how this works. You are going to. You didn't really have kind of like a surprise attack. You did that with the thing, so it did lose some endurance for that. I just kind of chose a random number because burning lure of fake deer was not in the weapons listed in the book. So you're not gonna get like extra opening volleys on it. Although you know what, if you wanted to take one sausage, I would give that to you.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna aim for a fin.
Okay.
And just I'm gonna make an attack with my bow. I've got 2 picks on that, so it's a feat die and 2 success dice.
Yes, and this being does not have any parry, so you do not have to
wow.
add that to it.
Okay, but I do still have to make my strength target number.
Yeah, you do
Okay.
have to actually succeed on the thing.
Yeah, unfortunately that's a 14 out of 15.
Okay, so you are just so like caught off guard by the size of this thing and
Yeah.
the smell of it, and then suddenly there's fire, and you know this high-pitched sound like also just makes your head feel like it's just gonna burst. So you do miss, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so basically what's going to happen now is you're going to choose your stances, which we already did. We're going to go ahead and do the engagement. Remember that you can take a main action and a secondary action. Main actions are like you're choosing to attack it, fighting, things like that. Small secondary actions are advancing or retreating while fighting, trying to locate someone on the battlefield, drawing a weapon, picking something up, things of that nature. And you're going to roll your appropriate combat proficiency. You do need to do your hit your TN for your strength. You would generally add the foe's parry to that number, but since it doesn't have any parry, because it's a giant fish, it's not going to parry. Yeah.
With individual teeth. It's
Yeah.
fencing.
Yeah. And then, so remember to also when you roll, check for for 6s on your d6s. So that's the special success. And then you can spend however many of those you get on your special successes. So heavy blow, parrying, piercing, etc. And there's the list of those on your combat on your cheat sheet if you look at that. All right. I think we're pretty good. You do have endurance loss is basically what we count, and all of that. Any questions?
No.
All right,
Let's
we're
fight a
ready.
fish.
Fight the fish. Fight the fish. All right, very good. Let's grab my extra large cheat sheet for the Loremaster, because there's a lot more things. All right. Don't forget also the one thing I always forget to tell you. You can also do combat tasks. Those are listed there too. I don't know. Are they on there?
Oh, it's in
Yeah,
the
it's on the second
yeah.
page I sent you.
Yeah.
Sorry, But so you can do that, but it does count as your main action. So if you wanted to like rally your comrades,
okay.
it gives them a benefit, but you also don't get to do attacks on those particular ones.
Got it.
All right.
What's this? These.
Right at the bottom. Okay.
All right. Any last things? Any questions? Everything will be fine.
Famous last words.
Fish.
All right. So we start off with our ranged, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're going to roll
I think
your.
actually it says
Does it?
PCs act from forward through rear.
You're right.
I was saying, I'm
Right.
Front to back.
Forward. Yeah.
in
Sorry.
the back.
Front to back. So forward stance. Runa and Hannar.
Yes. Okay. I was
You
trying to
said
remember
either
what my grievous weapon did. Adds 1 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And One Ring doesn't have like specific directions for if you have allies. So the Loremaster can choose to play them, but I don't feel like rolling a bunch of rangers and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count their like help for you as you'll just get an extra die in your rolls.
Oh.
So when you're attacking the fish, when you're doing
Yeah.
other stuff, you don't get the extra
Sure.
roll because they're not helping you like do something else.
I
But
need to tie my shoe.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're not.
Friendly, helpful
Come over
ranger.
and help me tie your shoe.
Sorry, you're in 4th grade now. I will not help you tie your shoes. I have to say that. Sorry.
It's a reflex.
Thing at the beginning of the year. It's like, yeah. Okay. So yeah. So when you roll, make sure you roll 1 extra die.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
So Hannar, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So as my bonus action, I want to take a little bit of liberty with dwarven craftsmanship. Oh,
Okay. Sorry. Do we have a question?
No, it's something for her.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Do you need the book?
I have the.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Thank you.
No problem.
You just need a brain that works for memory.
Okay.
Having a vague recollection about something from the last time we had combat, which was quite a while ago now.
It was, yes. And it was a much different combat. Like,
Yeah.
3 goons in the forest is very, different
than this
than giant fish of evil.
deep monster of Morgoth. It's fine.
Yes.
they're all the same. 3 randos in the forest, death fish. You can't look at them differently or you get scared.
Which is why Aerlind is scared.
So a little bit of liberty with dwarven crafting. I'm going to say that as my bonus action, I'm going to take my torch and I'm going to shove it down in the top of my shield and then twist it and it clicks into place and lights
Nice.
so that I'm like kind of a big target.
Okay.
Like,
Nice.
look over here
Excellent.
kind of a
Okay.
thing.
Clever.
Like it probably even like goes in and there's like cogs and stuff that grab it in and lock into place around it, kind of a thing. So it doesn't fly out if I drop the shield or whatever.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna charge up and try and. How high off the ground is the orb, the bobbing lure?
Yeah, that was.
It changes. Like, it hasn't quite used it yet, but you can see it's very agile with it.
Okay.
When it seems just relaxed and chilling and it kind of pulls back onto its head a little bit. Those of you at home, I'm kind of doing like the swan neck or like some talking head thing. Like it kind of pulls back till it's a little bit of in front of it, and I'd say that's probably about 12 feet up.
Oh yeah, okay. No,
Yeah, but there are times it's when it ate the deer, you saw it kind of like put it out first, and it kind of pulled back.
Sure, but currently it is not. So
Yeah.
the target is going to be. I think I'll run up and try and hack the fin. Like
Okay.
the forward fin
Okay.
on its left.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, I actually get 2 bonus dice because I'm being aggressive.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of dice.
Yeah.
So I totally made it with 1 6.
Okay. Very good. And I'm sorry. What's the damage in your weapon again?
That's just what I'm getting to. It is 5.
Okay.
without looking, I don't recall what the injury thing is. That's
Oh,
only
that's
if I
what you
get
don't need to worry about the
20.
injury unless, yeah. Right now it's just the damage on it.
Yeah, so it's 5.
Okay. I'm going to keep track of the fins now that you're starting to attack them. So, yeah, you slice into the fin, and he kind of does the thing where it, like, kind of, like, pulls it, like, away from you. And it's got, like, this strange, kind of green, blue, like, blood that kind of, it doesn't even, like, it almost oozes. It's got, like, kind of a gelatinous quality more than actually just being, like, blood.
Did you spend your 6 on a
Thing.
bonus thingy?
Oh, I didn't. I was just excited that I didn't. Well, I think I'm going to take the heavy blow, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
It's the right choice for 6, 7 extra damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh my god, so much math. Okay. Okay. God, there's large margins on this paper. All right.
How high up are the eyeballs?
We're just going all the way
Yeah.
through.
So it's got like 1, 2, 3 eyeballs on each side.
Okay.
So the lowest eyeball is actually probably, it's like very low. It's almost at the same level as its jaw. So it's maybe 4 feet.
Okay.
But it's also farther back.
Yeah.
So it's like it's got these big eyes in the front that are up high. Those are probably about 9 feet up. And then, yeah, and then it's a slightly smaller eye that's a little lower, but like also above the giant mouth. And then those ones are almost at its thing.
Got probably like 9, 6, and 4. I could
Yeah.
probably reach that middle eyeball.
Probably.
With a sword.
Yeah. Like I get a long sword
Yeah, yeah.
that's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going for the eyeball.
For the eyeball.
Okay. And let's see. I do get a bonus for being aggressive.
And we're going to give 1 extra damage if you've got something that's burning.
Okay. Plus 1 for flames. Okay.
Not 1 die, sorry.
No,
Like
just
damage.
1 damage.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, just clarifying.
These are just all my sword dice.
Oh, okay. Excellent. The many, many sword dice.
Okay. Hit the fish. Okay. I didn't get any 6s. Damn it. But I did succeed.
Oh, right.
And my sword does 7 damage.
Okay. Is that plus 1 more? The one for the fire?
That's including the
Okay.
flames.
All right. Wow.
And I'm going to use my secondary action to back up from the fish.
Good idea. Okay. Very good. Okay. Very good. Next, we've got Burl and Aerlind, who are both at ranged.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take another shot at a fin to try to disable it, keep it from,
Okay.
getting in the water.
Which one? Right? Left, front, back, needle?
I'm gonna say I'll say the sort of like its right front fin,
Okay.
just the closest target to me.
Okay.
The dice are just not with me. That is just a failure. Just 8 out of 15
Okay.
Oh,
with an eye.
Oh.
And that does anything.
ruh-roh.
Yeah, eyes are bad.
Specifically the moment that the eye is the worst.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
All right.
How delightful.
Yeah. So which side were you on, Runa?
Oh,
I was
no.
on the right
The right side.
Oh
So-
no!
So all of this is happening simultaneously, even though we're going around. Like
Yeah.
each round is like 30 seconds. So all of this is happening pretty much at the same time. So I'm going to have you. You're actually going to shoot right behind Runa. So as she starts to back up to get away from the fish, she's going to trip over your arrow
Okay.
and is going to land sitting in the sand. You're not injured, but you're sitting right next to the giant mouth of this
I
fish.
don't want to sit next to the giant mouth of this
This
fish.
arrow
Yeah,
thing is not working. Can I
Yeah.
use my Can I use my secondary action to close the gap between me and it?
You're pretty far away.
Yeah.
Like at range, you can say you're moving forward,
Yeah.
and then by the next action, if you wanted to engage in hand-to-hand combat, you can then.
Yeah. I'll advance
Okay.
forward.
So go ahead and pick. We'll do this dance
Yeah,
in just
yeah,
a second.
because it's not quite there.
Yeah.
All right. Now with that arrow that's burning for quite a while, actually, Aerlind is like, oh, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And is going to draw it, take a deep breath, and this rage actually wells up inside of him, actually looking down at down the shaft of the arrow, and he yells, "You should have remained asleep in the depths, foul creature of Morgoth." It's going to loose an arrow. Ooh. Yeah, that definitely succeeds.
Okay.
This is the first time I've hit anything in this game.
Nice.
Um,
If you gotta
so
pick a time, now's the
Now's
good
the
one.
time.
Right.
with the burning arrow, the bow does 5 damage.
Okay. Great.
Awesome.
All right. All right. Very good.
We're gonna stay there.
Perfect. All right. So, this beast, is going to. You're right next to it, but you heard it.
I
You
did
both
stab
heard
it
it.
in
You
the
both kind of
eyeball.
heard it. I'm trying to decide. All right. It's going to. It's going to go after you since you fell down and it's part of that eye.
I also burned
back.
it the first time too.
That's true, and
Oh,
it
they
knows you
knew.
did that.
Yeah.
Oh. Lucky you. It got a Gandalf rune, which is bad for it.
Ooh.
So it's flipped. So the eye is good for them. So, all right. And what's your parry?
16.
Oh, it does not. It does not hit. So you, like it goes to like bite you, and it kind of does the weird jaw thing, and you're just like able to like roll out of the way, and it gets a big mouthful of sand. It doesn't like that very much at all.
Dry and gritty.
Yeah, very gross. Yeah, I think it just gets one attack. Yeah, go ahead. All right, back at the top. If you'd like to move your stance, please do so now.
I'm good.
You good?
We're doing
Staying.
Still
Okay.
making my way there.
Old pet.
All right. So those of you in forward stance again. Runa, why don't we start with you this time since you did just rolled out of the way?
Since it's kind of like snapped kind of next to me and I've rolled out of the way, I think I'm going to stab for the low eyeball on its other side.
Okay.
Since that seems pretty accessible. Okay, and I still get +1 for the rangers, yeah? +1 die?
Yep.
Cool. Let's stab a fish. Alright, I could use more 6s, but we succeed.
Okay.
So that's a success, and it's going to be 7 damage with the flaming longsword in the
Okay.
eyeball.
Perfect. All right. So that's 7. All right. You're chipping away at it. It's definitely starting to like. There's some like scratches on it where that weird green sludge is like dripping out of it, and it reeks. Whatever this green, like its blood smells terrible.
I am going to secondary action.
Back
up.
Hopefully successfully this time.
Yeah.
Okay. And Burl, did you end up moving, or
Well,
did you decide to stay ranged?
I mean, you said I wouldn't be able to close the gap yet, so.
Well, if you started walking by this round, you'd be able to probably get there.
Oh, okay, you know what? If that's the case, then
Okay.
I'll. If I can get there, can I go into a forward stance
Yeah.
and like go ahead and attack aggressively?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, come on.
You can when we start the new round, you can change your stance.
Okay.
So you can definitely move there. I just meant more you couldn't have done that in that same round.
No, is it picking up my?
Oh.
It will. It takes a couple of seconds to update.
Because mine hasn't updated the foes. I've still got.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
weird.
I'd refresh the page.
Yeah,
I refresh
definitely
the
refresh
page on Jamboard. Is there like an option for it?
No, you just hit refresh the whole page. There's not a certain thing. You just hit refresh in the browser.
Oh, I'm using an app.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know how that
Okay,
works
we're
then.
Oh, yeah,
No idea.
yeah.
Sorry.
that's-
All right,
that's
I moved you there.
Okay,
so-
yeah, cool. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, you guys moved back. What happened? Oh no, you're there.
No, it
Okay.
seems fine.
Sorry. I switched back to the stream, which is slightly delayed. So I was like,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Oh no.
All right. So Hannar or Burl?
Go ahead. You were
Okay.
charging down the hill.
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of toss my bow behind me. I'm gonna whip out the spear, and I sort of determined that sheriffs, we never use the sharp end of the spear whenever it's a last resort kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna consider this as a last resort,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to plunge it into an eye.
Oh, nice.
That's better. That is much better.
awesome.
That's 20. It's an what do you call it? Great success is 1.
Uh-huh.
Extraordinary success. So it's
Okay.
an extraordinary success. I have
Oh.
2 6s.
Okay.
So
You can spend those on those upgrades.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm using 2 hands on my spear. Can I choose the same thing?
You may.
Okay, then I'm going to spend both of them on 2 heavy blows.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
So I will add strength damage plus 1 for my weapon. So my strength is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus the spear's damage rating of 4. So that's 12 points of damage altogether.
Oh.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so you come barreling down this hill. Your full weight, Hobbit weight as it is, is behind this, and you're expert use of this spear, and it literally just slices, you're doing straight point into the eye.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna say that was it the big eye in the front?
I'm going to do the big end.
Okay.
Sort of the main eye.
Yeah, we're gonna have it's gonna be this epic thing where you kind of leap off this little cliff that's about 5 feet high, and you're able. It kind of gives you the perfect floating slow motion move as you just jab your spear into its big eye right in the front, and you just and as you do it's and then tons of just awesomeness as you land perfectly on your feet and pull your
Okay,
spear
just
out.
yank it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you are land on your feet, and you've just done a ton of damage. You said 12 damage.
12
Yeah.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Nice.
it just
Finally, get a decent roll.
screams. Yeah, and it's it can't actually scream because it breathes water kind of, but you can just hear this sonic, and it's in full hearing
Yeah.
range now. As it just whatever moves around in its insides to make these high pitched noises is very unhappy. Wow. Okay. All right, and it's going to take its little lure angler thing, and it's going to swipe it, and it's going to swing it like a club. And it's kind of got a little bit of range to it. So anyone who's standing close to it, so all of you in forward stance are going to have to see if it hits you.
Okay.
Even if we've backed up.
You've you're still in forward stance.
Okay.
How far did you back up? You still are close enough for combat with it.
Yeah.
You can back up so it's not going to
In chomping range.
yeah, in chomping range, but this has a little bit more range
Got
to
it.
it.
No problem.
So this is more if its mouth is a sword, this is more of a spear.
Got it.
So sorry, let me see how many it gets with this.
Oh, that's so many dice.
Yeah. Okay, it's 19.
Holy.
Oh, that's
Well,
gonna be
that's
everybody.
My
everybody.
Yeah,
fairy's
that's gonna be
16.
Does that hit everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so it does 3 damage.
Okay.
Okay. What
What
does our armor
Yeah. How does protection play into this?
do?
You can do protection rolls for wounds.
Okay. All right.
Protection,
so
yeah, feet die
Okay.
plus armor protection
All right,
value.
Okay.
But that doesn't. You kind of automatically take the endurance loss.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But it does have this does have breaking shield. So wait, sorry. It's more than that.
This is specifically important to me.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you to finish
yeah.
this,
I
we've
have
got
an
this-
heirloom.
All
shit. I
this
have
detail.
an heirloom
have a shield.
buckler. So.
My shield is
Wait,
another sword.
I think it's more damage
I
than
love this
that.
for you.
I wrote my damage thing down wrong.
Uh-oh.
Hold it, please. Hold, please. Oh yes, I'm sorry. It does 6 damage.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And we take that on our endurance?
Endurance.
Okay.
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 And it's only 6 because it's split up between the 3 of you.
Oh,
Woof.
okay.
That explains the boats.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jeez.
it's a scary thing.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna have to look up break shield. I forgot to write the note down on that. Hold please. Since I forgot to look that up. 1 second. Why don't while we do that, Hannar, why don't you go ahead and roll your, because you're not using your shield for your attack, right?
Well, it depends on if I roll a 6, then that was actually
That was
part
going
of
to
the
be
plan.
part of the thing.
Yeah. But let me roll and see what happens.
I mean, even if your shield breaks, you are able to use it at like your torch piece of it. We'll say,
Sure.
like the shield.
I can't imagine that it has a specific power that's like instantly destroys shields.
All shields.
Like, doesn't matter what shield you have, just
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah,
It probably is something like it lowers our
I can't.
parry
Yeah,
rating or something.
yeah. I really should have looked that up.
It's okay. Keep.
Yeah, I'm
hunting.
still
let me
looking.
let me roll on because I might not even get a 6.
Okay.
So let's see what happens. So I think like the thing comes in and he probably does try and block with shield, but it's still just such a
There's 1 page off.
heavy whack.
Sorry, it says it's on this page. Oh, break shield. The attack strikes repeatedly at the shield of the target player hero, smashing it to pieces.
Oh no.
The target loses their shield bonus to parry. A shield enhanced by rewards or magical qualities cannot be smashed and thus is not affected.
Oh, whew.
Fair enough.
Do you have
But
a magical
is
shield?
that a specific attack? Like it has to be like I'm gonna break that guy's shield.
It says break shield on that particular attack. Like when you use that, like when you use its angler thingy. It's actually its tail, but I thought the angler thingy was cooler. So I switched
dig
it.
Dig it. That's fine. Okay. Well, all right.
Sorry.
No. So, I think he throws up the shield to block, and it shatters. But he catches he just kind of stands there like built dwarf tough, and takes the hit, but grabs his torch as it's falling.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be his kind of offhand now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he's moderately upset now.
Uh-oh. Pissed off the dwarf.
Oops. Yeah, I made it still.
Okay.
No 6s, so that's fine.
Okay.
That makes sense. So, but I'll still do 5.
5 damage.
With the axe. I'll probably. He doesn't know a lot about sea life, but he knows that fish have gills, so he's probably going to try and take a swing at where the gill would probably be behind the jaw.
Yeah, like behind the last eye, there's
like
definitely some gills.
So he's probably going to just try and punch the axe through there.
Okay, perfect. All right. And does that include your extra damage for fire stuff?
My axe isn't on fire.
Yeah.
It's not on fire.
It's not on
Oh,
fire.
it's not on fire. Oh, okay, I
No.
thought you said it
My
was.
torch is, but
Yeah, okay.
if I got in a 6, then I was going to do the
I
shield
see,
thing.
I see.
and-
Yes. Okay, but did you, and you rolled the extra die for the rangers?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Firing an arrow.
Oh, no, Burl,
Oh, I
you already
forgot to
went.
roll.
No,
Stabbed
yeah.
real
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Light another arrow and just seeing this thing hit everyone, fully just determined now. We have to stop this thing. It's too dangerous and I need you all to live.
Yes.
Oh, good. That's a 10.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that definitely makes it. It's a 21.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a piercing.
Yeah, so it's a piercing blow. Very exciting. So with piercing blows, that's what the adversary
Feet
does.
die.
Yes.
Just
So
hit by.
yeah, so this will actually do wounds to the creature, which is special and ouchy. So when a feat die rolls a 10 or a Gandalf run on a successful attack, the target must succeed in making a protection test to avoid a wound. So you may take many wounds to kill the bad thing since it's a great thing. But most of the time adversaries are killed with 1 wound. This is a little
It's a
bit
big
tougher.
boy.
It's a
Yeah.
big boy.
Old.
So, yes. So yes, it will have to make a protection to not get a wound. So it's the protection value is versus the injury rating on your weapon.
Which is 16.
Okay. So armor is okay. Oof. No. That's a lot of die, and it no. You said it was 16?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 15. So good. Yeah, it just barely. So it has a wound.
I think Aerlind was aiming for the root
Okay.
of the angler thing because it's moving around so much that hitting the actual ball seems a little bit impossible with a bow.
Yeah.
And so he's going for like the root of the problem,
Okay.
and is gonna like gash along the stem of it.
Nice. Perfect. So yeah, it takes a big ouchie.
And the damage is also 5.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. I just want to make sure I do this. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Doing it right. Doing it right. Lots of math. All right, here we go. Keep it up. All right. So everyone's gone. So this is the Biggie Fish gets to go.
Does he get a second attack?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
He went.
He already went. I should have waited to the end for him to go.
Ah.
That was my bad. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Still, I kind of default to like. So you know what? That screws that up.
What?
Because I smashed your shield before your turn. You should have gone with a shield.
Well, it didn't matter
Okay.
because I didn't get it. If I'd gotten a 6 and I could have done the shield thing, then
Okay. Yeah.
that would have
That wouldn't matter. Well, so we'll just kind of retcon that just slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So you did the attacks, and then after that last one, whoosh, slam. I need to remember that. Sorry. Yes, the foes always go last, so I apologize. But that doesn't really change anything with the math, I don't think.
No.
I don't think
Okay.
so yet.
All right. So we'll just say, now he went. Now it's your turns again. If you want to switch stances, go ahead and do that.
Nope.
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 I think
Everybody's
we're
the
good.
same?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we're doing good.
Gotta keep it going.
Doing okay. ADHD meds. Who needs those?
Oh. Praise
They're
them.
they're back order at the pharmacy, so I'm doing my best, hanging in there with all the
You're
rules
doing
tonight.
really good.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Then we're starting at the beginning. Runa, Hannar, or Burl?
Let me stab this fish.
Stab the fish.
Grab all those dice. You are so frightening.
Oops. This one is supposed to go in there. Oh no!
Oh,
no! I got a 1.
Oh no.
I mean, that just isn't helpful. It's not actually like a failure.
That's right, we're doing
Oh,
11s
right,
and
right.
12s.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I think I still make it though. 'cause I
Okay.
have so many dice. 6, 11,
I know we're-
15, 17. I still get 18.
Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we have to remember, like, we're trained to see, like, 1 as a failure.
Yeah.
It's not helpful, but it's not, like,
not
the
an eye.
worst.
Yeah, it wasn't an eye. I thought
Okay,
it was
yeah.
an eye for a second.
It's not an eye.
So, I don't get any special. I didn't get any 6s.
Mhm.
But I still do 7 damage.
Okay.
And let's see. So I'm on the side of it. Where is it after it does its swipe? Where does its dangly bit end up?
It like pull the
Sorry,
like
Tone.
the angler part of like the angler fish like pulls back up like to like
Okay, up.
like kind of hanging off its forehead.
I'm gonna do something a little bit gross, but I'm gonna describe it heroically
Okay, thank you.
instead of
In
gross.
tone, yeah.
Because she can't reach that, I think, because it's kind of swiped to the left and it's the side of its face is to her. She's gonna jam her sword in its mouth and slice.
Oh, okay. Try and like slice it open.
Yeah, try and debilitate the jaw a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Very good. Yeah, you can do that. We'll call that. Trying to see, like, so you didn't get any. So it slices, so it does some damage. It doesn't quite like. It's not like you're filleting it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like a side on it that's kind of like that side. It's a little hanging, a little odd because you definitely have done damage to jaw. It's definitely still usable, but yeah, it's definitely done damage. Okay.
All right.
Sure. All right. Lucky time. Lucky. Here we go.
Only good thoughts.
Gonna haul back. And this is gonna try. I'm gonna try and combine the attack.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and like hit the gill and shove the torch in.
Oh.
Like pull it back with the axe and.
Okay, so we're gonna count this as your main action and your secondary
Both.
action
Yeah,
at the
that's
same
great.
time.
I'm just trying to get that one extra point of damage.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. The fire thing.
That's all. Ooh, that's a high number.
Okay.
10, 18, 21?
Okay.
Yeah.
How many? Any sixes?
No.
Okay. Did you roll a 10 or a Gandalf rune
No.
on the feat die? Okay. So it's a success.
But not.
Yeah. But how much damage did you do?
Would be 5.
5.
And then plus 1 for the torch.
Okay, so 6. All right.
I'm just out here working.
Yeah.
Working hard.
Yep.
Okay, I've debilitated. I've stabbed an eye. Now I'm gonna aim for a fin, and I'm gonna try to use my spear to pin the fin to the ground so it can't go anywhere.
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's see. So that's a Gandalf rune.
Yeah.
So that's a piercing
Oh,
blow
that's
then,
really
right?
big. Yeah.
In any case, it's an 18 with a Gandalf rune. So no,
Nice.
sorry. 20 with a Gandalf rune. So,
Okay.
okay. And I.
What's the injury rating on your weapon?
It is. I'm using 2 hands, so it's 16.
Okay. Nope, got 14.
Oh.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
So that's
All right.
another
Another wound.
piercing blow wound. All right.
Oh man.
Ooh.
This thing can take a lot of hurt.
Yeah,
can.
seriously. And the damage rating on my spear is 4.
Okay. I think if you do a wound, I don't think you get like to double
Get to add
dip
damage.
there.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
I think we did before.
I say I gave you mine.
Yeah, I have the whole tally here, but looking at it, I think because a wound is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a
Like
huge
that's
deal.
Yeah,
much
yeah.
bigger than just an
Yeah,
endurance
absolutely.
lost. So I have yours written down. It was 5, I believe.
Yeah, it feels right.
Yeah. I'm like I have them tallied and like labeled, so I'm
Yeah,
like wait.
perfect. Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
All right. Just in case, that way I can rewind it if I make mistakes. It's important. Okay. It's still about. It's still.
It's still huge.
Yeah, and it's like hurting. Like this is like this ancient being is this is probably the most messed up it's been in quite some time. Has like these large gashes. You can tell it's moving slower, and like you know that weird thing that fish do when they're out of water when they're kind of gasping. It's kind of like gasping.
That's a sight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sight, it's a smell, it's a whole lot of stuff. So you do this piercing blow to it, and it's also now like pinned onto the beach. So it's gonna have to like rip itself free if it decides to back up. So you've stopped it from leaving.
Yeah,
if that's
I
good.
just want to make sure it doesn't like slip into the water where it can recover.
Yeah.
You know.
Try and finish this problem rather than just put it off another 4
Yeah,
years.
yeah, exactly.
My
All
turn
right.
now. Right?
Yes.
All right. Light another arrow. Here we go.
Okay.
Seeing all of that going on, I think Aerlind is now going to try and go for what you were doing, Hannar, on the other side, and go for the gills.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see if that actually makes it though. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I make it with a Gandalf rune.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, a
Another
Gandalf rune?
wounded.
No, sorry, the other way with a
Oh,
with
the
a regular
Tengwar.
Yeah, Tengwar
Yeah,
rune.
okay. The 6. I was like, oh, shit.
Yep. Then I am going to make it a heavy blow because it's the only
Okay.
thing that I can really do.
Yeah.
And so it does 6 total damage.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
And it goes straight to the gills.
Yes. Slice in, and it's like gasping even more, and it's having definitely trouble breathing on like this side. You get the idea. It's sort of not quite amphibious, but it definitely like breathes better underwater, but it
Yeah.
can kind of get some air at least above while it's on land. All right, and it is regretting its choice to come trying to eat your deer, and it is.
That's what this
Gaseous.
is
Yeah.
about. Revenge for our deer.
But it's just like tore up, and it's like you can tell it's getting like heavy in itself. Like its skeletal structure was not meant to like sustain this much damage like while like under the pull of gravity. So it's starting to like kind of like flatten out a little bit. It's like spreading wider, but it's also getting a little bit shorter. So yeah, it's not quite as tall as it was. All right, it is its turn. It's fine.
Oh, it's
Worry for all of you.
Sweeping
Yeah, I
angle.
worried for all of you.
It is going to also do the sweeping thing again. So,
Great.
no problem.
I don't have a shield to break this time, sucker.
Yeah. 15.
Yep, makes it on me.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
In your face, fish.
If it's a tie.
I think it goes to the player.
Oh,
Or,
Okay.
I don't know. For players, it's an attack. It hits.
Last turn I was a 17.
Oh.
This turn I'm a 15.
Yeah, because I'm a 15 too.
Oh.
I think it hits if it ties.
Okay.
So how much damage is that?
So
Just
again,
6 spread out amongst the 3 of us, and
Yes.
you didn't get hit.
so now it's
Sorry,
more.
guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, because tie goes to the attacker. Then? Is that
Yeah,
the logic?
yeah, I think it does. Some games it's like tie goes to the player.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that in this.
Makes sense.
So you're going to take 8.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
I just missed my load.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm fine because I'm no longer carrying a shield.
Hey!
That worked out well.
What do you know?
Did you remove your bow? Because you did throw it to the ground.
I did actually.
So that should help a little bit.
So yeah, I guess it reduces my load by 2. So all right, okay.
Game where we track
I will take that.
inventory weight in combat.
Thank you
For those
reminding me about
dramatic
that.
like hair flip reveal moments as you throw your helm to the side.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we already dropped the helm.
Oh.
Oh.
man.
I know that was awful.
This isn't even the ocean. I'm getting all the salt.
This lake is taking all your stuff.
I know.
Jeez.
But you're in the sun, so it's a burn.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That was very off tone. I'm sorry. I'm breaking my own rules.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I'm sorry. We had to have a little bit after all this combat. I had to have a little bit of release of
Little
being
giggle.
smelly fish after all this time. Okay. Okay. There we go. And so that was its turn. If you want a different stance, pick it. All right. Here we
I'm
go.
doing this.
Keep
Back
it-
in.
We're in it to win it.
Let's have who has not gone first
I
of
have.
the 3 of you.
Well,
You have
I
it?
think everybody
I
has.
think
I
everyone
did,
has
but-
because you went first
Yeah,
in the other
'cause, yeah,
stance.
yeah, I
Okay.
did fire
I
shot,
went first
yeah.
last time.
Okay.
so-
Let's go back to Runa then.
All right.
Around the table.
Go, Runa.
Let's
Roll
swing a
your
flaming
fistful of
sword.
dice.
That was a nice way to start.
Whoa, get back here.
Wild.
Oh my
Oh
God, so
no!
much
What? What?
1.
No!
And the one you rerolled.
Oh my
No, I did one
gosh.
too.
Okay, so that is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
You
Still
make
makes
it.
it.
4 ones, guys.
Wow, that's a lot.
Good thing I have so
What'd
many
you roll on
dice.
your feet
Yeah.
die?
A 7.
Okay, all right. All right.
Any sixes?
No.
Okay.
A lot of the opposites.
7 damage.
7 damage. Okay.
Stunning. Unparalleled.
Just failing upwards.
No, you're just really good.
Chipping away.
Yeah, you're really good at stabbing things. Is what it is. Very good. Okay.
I haven't heard that many dice like been rolled since like the last Tales from the Loop game. that I played.
Man,
Just play some vampire. It'll be fine.
There you go.
so many fistfuls
So
of
many-
dice.
Yes. All right. Hannar, do you want to go next this time?
Nope. Okay. Here we go. Like pulls his axe back out. Just
Yep.
I got a 6 this time though.
Okay.
So
Nice.
and it's still totally a hit.
Okay.
So I will hit the heavy blow.
Okay.
So that's 11.
Oh my.
11 damage. Nice. Okay.
Is your axe one-handed or two-handed?
1.
Oh, darn.
I could use it two-handed, but I'm still doing the torch thing.
Oh, right.
All right.
Okay.
So there's just like green, like aqua colored goo, like seeping out of almost everywhere. Like even out of like the eye. You know how fish have those little nostrils? Like they're having like I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. Like there's just like all of it easy, and you can see it's pulling, like trying to go back. Is your spear still?
I'm gonna say it's still embedded.
Okay.
Yeah,
Haven't gone yet.
Yeah, so it's like pulling back, but it can't because you did such a great job. Like
Okay.
so, it's just, and it's like kind of hissing now. It's like, gross. Sorry.
It's all good.
Misophonia. I apologize.
All right.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'm gonna put one foot on the bulk of the fish. I'm gonna, use it to stabilize me as I rip my spear out. I'm actually gonna try to drive it through the lower jaw to
Okay.
pin the jaw to
Nice.
the ground.
Okay.
All right,
Like
here we
fish
go.
hooks, but bigger.
Yeah.
That's a Gandalf.
Oh!
So 12, 18, 20. No. It's just a regular success though. No great success.
You got the
Okay.
piercing.
But still, that is, that is piercing.
Yeah.
My damage rating or my injury rating is 16.
Okay.
Let's go.
Moment of truth.
Come on.
Come on.
Get it.
How many wounds can this thing take?
18.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
so
Do I
sorry.
still do my damage to it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you damage. You just don't get the wound.
Okay, I'll do 4 points of damage to it.
And we're gonna say with the Gandalf rune that you do pin it.
Nice.
Okay, all right, awesome.
So how much damage did you do?
I was 4.
4. Okay.
Incredible.
So
And it's on the point where it's pulling back, and it's just like, its jaw is
Yeah,
pinned
yeah.
to the sand, and it's not hissing now. It's almost like screaming. And it's in a lot of pain, but it's also
Okay.
super evil.
Yeah, it's bad.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
evil thing.
it's
It-
like
Yeah.
an angry kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's angry and frustrated, and it wants to kill you, and it feels like it's pride, and like these mere gross morsels of food have done damage to me. Is like the vibe.
And it's made of like the darkest stuff from the beginning of the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
all right,
there's
cool.
nothing about this that like you're not getting like killing animal vibes. This is killing an evil monster vibe,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
All right.
despite as cute as you think it is, Smith.
I love monsters.
I know
I
you
can't
do.
help it.
Watching Burl stab through it really like enheartens Aerlind. Very inspired by what Burl is accomplishing, given that this thing could eat you in one bite.
Right, yeah.
And I miss.
Oh,
Wait, I miss.
okay.
It's bad. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I just missed though. There's nothing
Yeah, no, it's fine.
horrible.
We're gonna say it's scream, like
Yeah.
just hits you, like almost like ugh, and it like you just slightly miss.
This thing's sound is bad for elf ears.
We're also gonna say too, maybe just for a moment, after Burl like jams its his spear through, like it does the thing where like a fish on like a hook kind of like
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
flips its body for a second, and it just like happens to like flip like out of where it would have been a moment ago. It doesn't get any like extra dodge, but that just explains
Yeah.
narratively why he missed. Okay. So it is going to go. It obviously can't bite anymore. So it's going to swing with its doohickey.
Ah.
Yes. 15.
Right on the money.
Again, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, they're
Eight.
this is
Oh,
bad.
dear.
11.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, sorry. I was hoping for a second that was a 6 instead of a 9, but it was not.
So 8 damage again
Yes.
between the two.
For each of you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it misses you. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
My parry
How
is
y'all
16.
doing over there?
I am at 1 endurance. point.
Oh no!
I
Okay.
am below my load
I have
rating.
2,
Okay.
so I am also far below.
Finish
the load
this fight.
Okay.
Okay.
Next round, move if you want to.
Nope.
I want that extra die.
Staying where I
Okay.
am.
I need that extra die.
If I keep getting ones, I need it.
rating. No, I'm in.
Okay.
Not gonna do any better up close.
Want to start somewhere else? It doesn't really matter at this point. Like, it's not going to hit you if you go first. So
Yeah.
it goes in the same place every
You know,
time.
all right, I'm going to burn a hope point.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
get
think this is where we start
one
burning.
extra die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rip my spear out. I'm gonna try to plunge it into another eye.
Don't forget, you also get an extra die for the Rangers.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I haven't been doing that.
Oh.
Okay, no worries. So I'm rolling 5 success
Oh,
dice.
I mean,
yeah.
You've still got 2 piercing blows, so you've
Yeah,
been
load
doing
it
fine
up.
without the extra
Yeah,
one.
exactly. And yeah, I'm going to go for another eye. Go for another eye. No piercing blows, but that is 8, 10, 23
Yeah.
altogether.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's another 4 points of damage from the spear.
Okay. Okay.
Can't believe I didn't get any 6s out of all that.
I know.
Alright.
I'm just sitting here like, come on, Gandalf Rune, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or 10, if you get
Yeah.
a 10 too.
Yeah, either way, but like
Yeah.
the injury rating on my axe is 20.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a tough.
Yeah. All right.
go ahead.
Okay.
Go, Runa.
All right. Come on, dice. Well, I got a 6 this time.
Okay.
Great. 6, 12, 14, 19.
Yep.
And I got a 6. So
Okay.
we're doing a heavy blow
Okay.
to the fish monster. Okay. So strength damage +1 for two-handed weapons. Okay, so that's 5 + 7 is 12 damage.
Oof. Okay.
Ooh.
This is the last of it. Like it is, like you describe your final giant blow on this fish monster.
I think because it's got 2 of like the main eyes, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of them has been
yeah.
like shredded. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Burl has just shredded that one eye, and as like just right after one after the other, I think Runa just like jumps and like flaming sword straight through
Okay.
and just takes it out.
Yeah. There's like this lash, like shriek, as you do the final blow, and then it kind of just like spasms a little bit, and then like sort of like flops and slumps onto its side, and there is a giant dead fish on the sand of this beach, and it is dead. Good job. Okay.
Woo!
Big work.
Yes, excellent. I know we're way over time, so we're going to stop right there. We'll pick up from this point after your incredible victory next session. We'll figure out what's happening with these rangers, and I'm assuming we'll probably do a fellowship phase.
Cool.
Like
be nice.
during the next session at some point.
I dig it.
All
Can
right.
you dub your fish killing blade the fish blade?
Actually,
Yeah.
I was gonna name it because now it has the fancy ancient writing on it
Yeah.
from Lady Athura. I was gonna call it Spirit's Touch.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Love it. All right. Yeah, and we are gonna we'll give I'll look into the mechanical way to kind of like get extra to your weapons and whatever kind of was touched by the spirits, because I think that's a cool kind of addition to the lore. So, all right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it was a little bit of a long session. Thank you so much to James V and everyone who was in chat tonight. Thank you to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we're able to play games we enjoy without worrying about publishing companies or system popularity. You can join the heroic ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. Let's go around and introduce ourselves and like promote anything that's coming up. I'll go ahead and just go first this time. My name is Kimi. You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl pretty much anywhere, or if you at happyjacksrpg, that's me too. You can find the games I design at goldenlassogames.com. We do have a convention coming up in February. I know what month it is.
September.
It's
Yeah,
fine. And
yeah,
September.
September.
I'm so glad it's not September. It's coming up in February 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. We'll be running games there. If you'd like to play in a Happy Jacks game with a Happy Jacks host, you can go ahead and play there, and that's Strategicon. And if you go to strategicon.net, then you can sign up for games there. It's a great local con here in Los Angeles. All right, let's go to Dave.
I have been Kadave. I'll be Kadave again next week. And in the meantime, I stay Kadave. But tonight, I got to be Hannar, and that's awesome. So, having great fun. And I just love the idea of, like, he goes at combat like a dwarf mining.
Yeah.
Like, he's just...
Yep.
Chipping away at those
You're
health
going to get
lines.
through this thing one way or the other. Inevitable. The other thing is, I discovered this week on Steam...
Oh my god.
if for those of you that like video games, that some developer out there made a video game literally called Dave the Diver, and the protagonist is a scuba diving guy that helps run a sushi restaurant at night, and he dresses like me. When he's running the sushi restaurant, he's wearing like a button-up shirt
Yeah.
and a hat, and it's delightful.
You even got your little
He's
beard
even got the
goatee.
goatee.
Yeah.
and it's disturbing how I have to look up if it's okay to just use my likeness. But it has inspired me. I'm going to get into getting back to streaming it probably next week.
Nice.
Oh, so
Yes,
fun.
that's
It'll be fun. I'm going to start a campaign and we'll just play and chat and have a great time.
And what's your Twitch channel?
At CA Sith Lord, much like my Twitter handle that appears places.
Yeah.
Or on the card thing down there.
Yeah.
Card thing.
All right. Howdy folks, I'm Jay, and you can find me on Instagram at Transplantation and everywhere else at JAfrica. I hit a little bit of a snag with my upcoming module release for D&D, for the D&D Adventures League, but that will hopefully drop by the end of the week. Besides that, there we go. Those are the words that are coming because it's late. I'm doing Dungeon 23. We're at week 4. If you want to follow my work, just follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, kind of feeling the aftermath of this battle after having been left with 1 endurance point. Next week, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Kai. I've been Aerlind of Mithlond, who actually hit someone in combat for the first time. Wild.
Like, well.
Yeah, I hit them very well.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can find me. Actually, it's a quiet week for me. This is my only show this week.
Oh.
So I will see you all next week here on Monday to see what on earth is going to happen next. Oh my gosh. But yeah, for the rest of the time, you can find me. I am in the process of launching a podcast that has already had a few episodes come out, and we have a new episode coming out at the 1st and 3rd weekends from the Lore Brewery. We are running a fairy tale 5e adventure where you can follow us along on a little fairy tale wander through worlds familiar and still strange.
Awesome.
And I'm Sam. I've played Runa, your friendly neighborhood likes to hit things with swords lady. You can find me on the internets at Red Pandroid on pretty much all of the socials and here on Mondays. That's all I do except for make chainmail and play video games.
I see no problem here.
It's a good life.
It's a good life. All right. Please join us here next Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time for our next session. If you want to catch up on past episodes, you can visit happyjacks.org/unsung tales. And if you want to find all the other games and like 20 plus other systems, you can visit happyjacks.org. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.